into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
And a very good morning to you. Yes, this is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3. A very good morning. I'm Zoe Brown. And yes, we are going to be packed today between 6 all the way through till 9 a.m. But it is a brand new week, and we are starting this week off with great sadness. And it is the start of the show, and we just want to share with that heartbreaking news that renowned broadcaster Mark Pilgrim has passed away after battling stage 4 cancer. Now, he was known for hosting his award-winning Mark Pilgrim show on Hot 102.7 FM from Mondays to Saturdays from 9 to 12. And Pilgrim was diagnosed in March last year and has been openly sharing his experience through social media and creating further awareness for cancer. June last year, the cancer had spread to his femur, the base of his spine, and lymph nodes. Now, our thoughts and prayers certainly go out to his 2 daughters, his family, as well as his friends. We send our heartfelt condolences. Well, it is time for us to also take a look at some of the things that will be coming up in your show, of course, when it comes to being in the kitchen. I think with the students being back, we always are looking for ways to be budget friendly. Well, let's say good morning to the rest of the team as we unpack that a little bit more.
Good morning, Zoe, and a very good warm and welcome from my side as well, South Africa. Lovely to be hanging out with you on this Monday morning, although we did start the show on a bit sad news, but we're going to have a good Monday nonetheless. Yes, Zoe, we are focusing on those student budget meals this morning. We're going to be jumping into the kitchen and we're going to bring you top inspiration. Now, we want to know from you for our social media posts this morning. We want to get to know what your student meals on a budget was. You know, those go-to little snacks that you had to make sure that your budget last the entire month. So share your student meals with us. You can do so on our WhatsApp line 063 40 888 63. We'd love to hear from you. Also, send us your voice notes. Send us a lekker voice note. Say, hey, this is the thing that got me through the year or through the month for that matter. So stick around 063 40 888 63. That is our WhatsApp line. We can't wait to hear from you, but stick around. To your Feel Good Breakfast shows, we'll bring you a ton of inspiration. But for now, it's time to kick off this Monday morning with your official duties, your news headlines.
Dankie Strydom. Let's start off with your national headlines. A Minister of Electricity is expected to be appointed this evening when President Cyril Ramaphosa reshuffles his cabinet. Presidential spokesperson Vincent Magwenya confirmed Ramaphosa would announce cabinet changes this evening at 7 o'clock. Moreover, Magwenya said the president was deeply saddened by the death of Free State MEC Tate Magoy and his bodyguard in a car accident in the Free State early yesterday. The president also expressed his condolences to the families of the 19 people killed in Limpopo on Friday in a road accident. Now, staying with our local news, stage 4 load shedding was back from 4 p.m. yesterday and will last until tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. after further breakdowns and delays in returning units to service. Thereafter, load shedding is expected to be reduced to stage 3 until 4 p.m. tomorrow. Stage 4 will then be implemented from 4 p.m. tomorrow until Wednesday morning at 5 o'clock. Eskom spokesperson Daphne Mokena said the pattern of stage 3 and 4 would be repeated until further notice. She added that a further update would be announced as soon as any significant changes occur. Now, moving to news beyond our own borders, France will contribute $36.15 million to a new EU humanitarian aid initiative for the Democratic Republic of Congo's conflict-hit Eastern Territory. President Emmanuel Macron said this weekend during an official visit to the capital, Kinshasa. On Friday, a dozen or more Congolese anti-French protesters on a busy road in Kinshasa passed out leaflets to boost opposition to Macron's visit. The DRC is not a former French colony, but perceptions of French support for neighboring Rwanda have stoked anti-French feelings. And police in Pakistan's capital, Islamabad, have tried to arrest former PM Imran Khan at his Lahore home, but he wasn't present. An arrest warrant was issued after Khan failed to appear before court in a corruption case on the 28th of February. The former international cricket star is accused of failing to declare gifts received during his time in office. Khan, who was shot and wounded during a rally last year, has attempted to disrupt politics in the South Asian nation since he was forced out of office in a no-confidence vote in April. And a rescue team in Turkey has successfully pulled a dog from rubble 22 days after devastating earthquakes leveled buildings throughout southern Turkey and northern Syria, causing the death of some 51,000 people. Video footage showed workers from Haytap, a Turkish animal rescue agency, clearing an opening for the dog, a Siberian husky named Alex, now through the rubble under a giant collapsed concrete slab. They whistled to lure him out as many people watched with bated breaths. The dog's owner called the animal rescue agency after he had heard Alex's barks coming from the rubble of a two-story building in Hatay province. Surviving 22 days in that hole without eating or drinking anything is really a miracle. Osman Polat, the Haytap worker who pulled the dog out, told several reporters on the scene. Alex had lost some weight but was generally in good health. That sure is one tough husky. Well, on that very positive note, that's where we leave your morning headlines. Let's take a first look at your sport.
Thank you so much, Zoe. That's right. Let's get into your sporting headlines for this Monday morning. Starting off with soccer news, Liverpool delivered the complete performance, and 2 goals from Mo Salah saw him become the club's record Premier League goal scorer as Manchester United were overwhelmed 7-0. Salah's second goal was his 129th for the Reds in the league as he broke Robbie Fowler's record. Darwin Núñez and Cody Gakpo also scored twice as Liverpool recorded their biggest win over Man United. Arsenal scored late to claim a 3-2 win over Bournemouth and maintain their 5 lead over Man City, who beat Newcastle 2-0. Chelsea claimed a 1-0 win over Leeds, while Spurs lost by the same score to the Wolves. Staying with soccer news now, Stellenbosch showed their resilience once again after they fought back from a goal down to earn a 1-1 draw with Mamelodi Sundowns. The Brazilians dropping points for the first time in 16 matches. Orlando Pirates thumped Swallows 4-1 thanks to a hat-trick from Monapule Saleng, while Soweto rivals Kaizer Chiefs claimed a 1-0 victory over 10-man Richards Bay with Siyabonga Ngezana's 8th-minute goal proving to be the winner. A brace from Zakele Lapasa ensured SuperSport United maintained their grip on second place with a 2-1 triumph over Golden Arrows. Then moving over to rugby news, the Stormers extended their winning run at home to 21 matches, but were mightily relieved to have got home 29-23 against the Sharks. The Stormers scored 4 tries and were full value for their 26-6 lead after 55 minutes. The Durban side fought back with a 2-man advantage, but were unable to completely overhaul the deficit. Lions scrum half Sanele Nohamba scored 24 points as his side caused a major upset, beating the Bulls 29-25. Nohamba scored a try, kicked 2 conversions and 5 penalties as his side exploited some poor discipline by the home side. And then moving on to Formula One news this morning, Max Verstappen started the new season as he ended the last with a dominant victory in the Middle East. The 2-time champion led the Bahrain Grand Prix almost from start to finish, initially lapping at a pace beyond his rivals and then controlling the race. Verstappen's 36th victory underlined his status as favourite for a 3rd consecutive world title. Sergio Perez made it a Red Bull 1-2 ahead of the inspired drive by Aston Martin's Fernando Alonso in 3rd. And that's a quick roundup of your sporting news and your Figure Breakfast show for this morning. We'll be back with more a little bit later on. Right now, here's Zoe with your weather.
Thank you, Strydom. Well, let's start off with weather news. Widespread extreme weather has caused damage in large parts of the Amatole district in the Eastern Cape. This district stretches along the Sunshine Coast from the Fish River mouth and along the eastern seaboard to just south of Hole in the Wall along the Wild Coast. Spokesperson for the Amatole District Municipality, Sisa Msiwa, said although no injuries or deaths had this far been reported, some areas experienced serious localized flooding and strong winds. He urged communities to stay vigilant and to avoid crossing any low-lying bridges, streams or rivers, and motorists to exercise caution and avoid driving in flooded areas. Meanwhile, the SA Weather Service has issued a warning for severe thunderstorms in the Overberg and Garden Route district municipalities of the Western Cape, and thunderstorms over Cape Town, the southern central Karoo districts, and the Witzenberg, Drakenstein and Stellenbosch municipalities after soaking rain also fell yesterday. Well, it's time for us to take a first look at those sunrise views that you share with us. So kicking us off for your 6 a.m. update is Len Smith showing off a Monday morning view in Century City from his apartment overlooking the tall trees. Nancy Govender from Umkomaas shared a generous shot from her home, and look at those bright tones in the sky. Pandi from Kabeja captured this peachy sunrise glimmering up the sky. And last up, we have Rabetso, who snapped this gentle pink sky this morning from Riebeekstad. Look at that beautiful sunrise. What a great way to start your week. Well, if you have a sunrise view to share with us, please do so on 063 408 8863. But let's get into those temperatures today, starting off in Polokwane. Your low is 19, your high 30, Mbombela 20 with a high of 19, Pretoria 17:31, Johannesburg 15 reaching a high of 29. If you're in Mahikeng, 17 is your low, 30 your high, Klerksdorp 16 reaching a high of 31. Kimberley 18 with a high of 30. If you're in Bloemfontein, 11 is your low, 29 your high. Richards Bay 22 reaching a high of 30. If you're in Pietermaritzburg, 18 is your low, 28 your high. Durban expects some rain, 22 is your low, 28 your high. Mthatha 16 reaching a high of 27. East London 18, 27. Cradock 12, 28. If you're in Kabeja, your low is 15, your high 22. Rainy conditions in George, 15 with a high of 19. Cape Town expects some rain, a low of 17, a high of 20. Worcester, rainy conditions, 14 is your low, 20 your high. Sutherland 9 reaching a high of 18 with some thunder showers. And a sunny day for Uppington. Your low is 19, your high 32 degrees Celsius. Well, that's where we leave your weather for now. We'll have another update shortly after 7.
Thank you very much, Zoe. Now, there's a lot to get through on this Monday morning, and you know what? Our man Roy is here to unpack the news headlines. Roy, you know, it's not as if I was handed this, but I made it by myself just for you. Some breakfast to get the energy up, because there is a lot of news headlines to unpack. Roy Simpson is here. He's going to be running us through with the latest and the biggest headlines of this Monday morning. Right after the break, stick around.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso on SABC3. Lovely to have you, and it's good to be waking up to a fresh new week now. There is a lot. It's Monday, and hopefully your weekend was so relaxed that you need a complete reality check this morning. Now, fortunately, our news editor, Roy Simpson, is back with us to bring us up to speed on what has been happening in the headlines. And of course, you can join in on that conversation. Always good to hear from you by sending us a WhatsApp voice note to 063 40 888 Now, Mondays always feel good, but they could be worse. We could be on stage 16 load shedding, or you could be Andre the Rater. Roy Simpson, thank you for joining us this morning. Again, we're talking about load shedding. Look, that was meant a bit lighthearted, but stage 16. This could be a real thing, apparently. What's going on?
Well, it is a real thing, at least theoretically. Look, on one level, we don't have to worry. Tonight, 7 o'clock, President Cyril Ramaphosa is going to finally announce his cabinet reshuffle, and in that cabinet will be the appointment of the electricity minister.
Yes.
So everything will be sorted by Wednesday, so it's fine.
Okay.
That's obviously not how it's going to work. And Eskom knows that, and all the players in the power industry know that as well. So if you cast your mind back to, it was November of 2018, when stage 4 was considered extreme, and then there were these rumors that there was a stage 6. And that they'd planned for it, and there were the memes.
Yes,
they're going to come, they're going to
remember.
just take the candles out of your house. So then eventually that document got seen by the press, and there was a stage 8 in there. So this is one of these things where it's kind of like Gqeberha, you know, as the levels go down, then eventually you can go out and you can just see the bodies lying there. This body in question here is something which we'd never heard of, called the National Rationalized Standards Association.
The National Rationalized Standards Association.
Yeah, the NRS, as if we've heard about it before. They've apparently been in existence for 25 years, and they get together and they talk about what happens if. And in this case, the what happens if has resulted in them starting to draw up schedules which include a theoretical stage 16. But as consumers, there's not that much more they can do to us. They could take us to like a Malawi level where it's 18 hours a day that we lose power. But we discovered recently when they touched stage 7 that they're these big electricity consumers that they can turn off. So the smelters, for example, use extraordinary amounts of energy.
Yeah.
So those guys can be load shed, and the mines and other big users can be load shed as individual pockets of user, which means that we as consumers won't be hit quite so hard. But yes, it's real.
But still, I mean, even if it's able to do those big companies and big organizations, it's still a knock-on effect for the economy. It doesn't matter, you know. So let's hope we don't get there. But we are sticking to the electricity. Under the Rater, we know that he made some accusations of corruption of parliamentary members. He's now been served with court papers by the ANC.
And in fact, his deadline to answer those has kind of expired as well. But this is...
They gave him 7 days,
Yes.
just to fill you in quickly.
Yeah. So you can argue whether that's 7 business days, whatever. It really doesn't matter, because we're going to get into a very technical argument, because they're correct that the law was changed, and there's a section 34A that he's meant to report to the head of the DPCI, the head of the Hawks, is who he's meant to go to as a responsible financial officer who suspects corruption of over 100,000 rand. So the ANC is leaning on, you haven't gone to the Hawks. He's gone to the National Police Commissioner, Fani Masemola, and in fact, they've started an investigation inside Eskom. So he will say, but he's fulfilled his duty. And they will go, no, you needed to go to the head of the Hawks.
Yeah.
But he also only needs to go to the head of the Hawks with suspicion.
Yeah.
So they're saying, bring the evidence, come out with your facts. He doesn't need to do that. He just needs to go, I suspect this is happening.
It's because of it's no longer part. He's resigned. He's stepped out.
You don't lose your responsibility when that happens. But the point is, we're getting into a legal technical argument now, where 2 legal teams are going to argue about the nuances of, has he already fulfilled his obligations?
I see.
He will obviously argue he has. He went to the National Police Commissioner and indeed the President to unveil what he suspects.
Exactly, because that would be the natural go-to, which he's done. He's done a good job at that as well. I think we all think that he did a good job under the circumstances. But what is next for him now? Where is he going to go now? What's the future looking like for him, do you think?
I think we speculated this a while ago. I think the near future is he gets out of the country and lets things simmer down. I mean, people have literally tried to kill him. So I would imagine an extended sabbatical outside the country, a possibility to reassess. As you say, given the circumstances that he operated under as CEO, there will be a lot of people who feel that he did a sterling job. So he'll move on to another high-profile position, I suspect, in another country.
Yeah, but for now, we wait with bated breath for the cabinet reshuffle to see what is going to be happening. 7 p.m. tonight, apparently, President Cyril Ramaphosa will be announcing that reshuffle, and what does it look like? We're going to be back with Roy just a little bit later. We're talking about some protests happening at Wits as well. He's going to be filling us in on all those details as well. So stick around right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And of course, remember, if you want to join this conversation, we'd love to hear from you as well. 063 40 888 63.
Oh, thank you, gents. Well, it is time to unlock your 100% with today's quote. And this quote is brought to you by Clover Crush. And it is Motivational Monday, and our quote came from author and businessman Rutendo Windingwi. He says the following: find an opportunity where you are, look at how you can be successful in the environment that you're in, and take it from there. But I think it's so powerful. The opening line is find an opportunity where you are. So wherever you are, in whichever situation you find yourself, find that opportunity and seize the day. And if you want to also seize another opportunity, in fact, now another journey that we must not forget is that one from Crush, who brings you the TV show on SABC2, hosted by Raul de Mornay himself, who will be going on a journey to help you unlock your 100%, which will bring all sorts of opportunities. Make sure you keep an eye on Crush's social media pages for more information on the Unlock Your 100% with Crush's TV show, Wednesday, 7:30, only on SABC2.
It's The Crush. Unlock your 100% TV show. Catch all the excitement as we unlock Crush fans' full potential to live their dreams. Watch the show on SABC2 starting on the 1st of February every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Plus, you stand a chance to win your share of thousands of prizes. Simply buy any Crush and follow the pack for entry details. Crush. 100% goodness.
Hey, what's that?
This is Octofx, a new accessible platform to trade Forex on global markets.
Cool. What's a Forex?
It's short for foreign exchange, trading currencies.
Buy low, sell high. Score points, right?
Exactly.
What's leverage?
It's like you got cool friends. They vouch for you, and you can trade it big.
Precisely.
So basically, it's an app where you learn and trade, and it's safe, and it looks good.
That about sums it up here. Octofx, trading made clear.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It's your Monday morning on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Lovely to have you this morning. Now, there's always something going on in Mzansi, and protests on the Wits University campus have been one of the most notable things. We're back with news editor Roy Simpson to fill us in. But don't forget, join the conversation by sending a WhatsApp voice note to 06340888663. Lovely to hear from you guys as well at home and your thoughts with regards to what is happening out there in South Africa. Roy, okay, so protests at Wits. It got a little bit violent on Friday. What exactly is going on there?
It's a whole fight around money, essentially, and fees money. So some students have been excluded, and this is fairly common across campuses. If they owe money from previous years, then they can't re-register for this year's courses. And in some cases, these are large amounts of money. I mean, tertiary education is really expensive. So the SRC, for example, is trying to set a cap of 150,000 owing. So if you have debt of less than 150,000, you should be allowed to register. So that's stumbling block number one. The university is saying it can't do anything about that it can't allow that to happen because of the number of people that are affected, the amounts of money that are involved. It simply, well, it wouldn't be economically viable as an entity. So they're saying we can't do this. They've in fact moved quite a lot of money around to what they call, I forget what they're called, but they're like support funds, effectively. And if you're struggling with money, then they've got this pot of about 24 million rand that is available to help you out. The other issue is the cost of accommodation. And NSFAS, the National Student Financial Aid Scheme, has set a cap of 45,000 rand a year for that. And the problem is that Wits accommodation starts at about 58,000. So they're already 14 grand short there. And through up until postgraduate level goes up to about 80,000 rand, but you get a lot more for your money at that stage. But at that bottom level, the gap between 45,000 and 58,000, people are saying, but where are we meant to invent that money from? How are we meant to come up with that money? And so this clash has happened. And it's kind of almost a clash between the private education model, which Wits is a private institution, and then the public education model, where people have gone through school that's been paid for by the government, and they've been told their tertiary education will be paid for by the government. Now they've come to a tertiary institution, and the institution's going, no, you must pay us. So it's a clash of cultures in a way.
Absolutely. I mean, if you take a look at education in South Africa, I mean, it's so nice to see that there's, this massive wave of eager young students wanting to get involved. But I mean, we're talking big numbers here. So what is the outcome? How come the two parties, can they work together?
I'm sure they can. The interests are in producing education, and the interests are ensuring that everyone has access to education. It's always been, the idea has always been the doors of learning and culture shall be open to all. And so there has to be some kind of a compromise here. I think the tricky thing with this fight between the students and the institution is that a lot of it involves NSFAS, which is government. So they're fighting with each other, but the party that needs to come to the rescue isn't part of these discussions. So I think the department needs to be brought in, the government needs to be brought in some way into these negotiations, and then I think there will be a solution.
There's lots going on, but you mentioned NSFAS, the National Student Financial Aid Scheme. So they've been in the news about placing a paper or an ad in a bar.
No, I knew you were going here, and it's kind of quite the opposite.
Okay.
The bar was placing an ad for saying, well, effectively come and spend your NSFAS money with us, and offering special offers on beer and cider. So the phrase is, Ingenile, the money is in. And it's, well, there's an allowance every month. So there's a living allowance for NSFAS students of 1,250. There's a transport allowance of 623 and a materials allowance of 443. Anyway, it adds up to about 2,500 rand a month. But the thing is, you can't police this on an individual basis. So that money simply gets released into bank accounts of these individual students. And all you need to do as a student is attend 80% of your classes and maintain a certain academic standard. And then that's fine. The money just keeps coming in. But it's in your account. It's your money. So
Yeah.
if you...
So essentially, there's no track record of what you do with that money.
Correct. And I think that the anger coming out of NSFAS is that this advert exposes exactly that. It exposes the fact that there's no control, that vast amounts of money are being handed over.
Ooh,
But
yeah.
then on the student side, you know, they'll be thinking, well, if I don't catch a taxi, if I walk instead, then that money's mine and I can go
I can
drinking
go there
with
to
it.
the bar, exactly. Oh my goodness. All right. Yeah, well, there's definitely something that I think NSFAS needs to also pay attention to. Now they're going to maybe not police it, but manage it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's even an option.
I don't know, because I think the problem is you'll need to employ so many people to do that that you'll cripple the system itself.
Absolutely. Roy, thank you very much. We're going to be back with Roy for one more chat. Listen, he's got a story about an airline that is upping the ante when it is coming to first class. Stick around for that. Or there's share your WhatsApp voice notes with us with regards to the news headlines 063 40 888 But this topic on students and, you know, money, let's sort you out for some budget students' meals.
Oh, well, I still sometimes feel like that budget student. And yes, this morning we did ask you about those budget student meals. And when it comes to planning and prepping meals as a student, not only does it save you time, but it also makes you do healthier choices, which is, of course, a no-brainer. Now, we have the beautiful student, Buku Bara here, and Baha, and she has been posting content on social media to help other students save and budget for their meals. And we have her right here in the Expresso studio to share some of her nifty tips and some tricks. It's so great to have you here.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, well, listen, we are so excited. Now, you are big on TikTok. People love you.
Yes, they do.
Now, I think the big question I want to know is what inspired you to start off your page?
Firstly, I would like to say thank you for having me here. So what inspired me to create TikTok, my TikTok page, is I'm a person who enjoys taking pictures, videos, being behind the camera, capturing the moment, and just being live. And I thought to myself, how about I add that with something that I enjoy and love doing, which is cooking. And I don't want to lie, funny enough, growing up, I did not like cooking at all. So I was just grateful for my sister because she loved the pots and I loved the dishes. So it was a win-win situation. So creating TikTok, I would inspire others. It's not too late to start.
No.
Just start small by small, you'll get there.
Oh, fantastic. Well, listen, you said start small by small. So I know first up, something that's easy to prepare and it's full of stamina for students is overnight oats. So
Yes.
talk me through your favorite overnight oats recipe.
So just needing a few ingredients. We have your milk this side.
We can add that.
Yes. And after adding your milk, you can add your oats.
Fantastic. And we just want to soften the oats a little bit. So just cooking it a little bit. And then we'll make sure it comes through. Look at that, coat everything. And you would prefer to do this on a gentle heat?
Yes.
Okay,
I would.
fantastic. Fantastic. So now that we've got our oats ready, see, this is TV cooking. This is the
Yes.
nice thing about meal prepping. We've got our oats ready, and obviously overnight oats. I don't know about you. Are you a honey or a sugar girl?
Honey it is.
Well, honey it is. So what I'll do is I'll scoop this up for us.
Okay,
I've
no
got
problem.
our overnight oats, and this is obviously some oats. You'll just put it in a very cute jar. I'm quite lazy, so even I go a step further. I don't even cook it. I just put it all in, pop it in the fridge, and then the next day you have some well-soaked oats. So we'll finish that off with also a dollop of our Clover Bliss double cream and a dash of honey. So now that we've got the overnights sorted, I know that as a student we do enjoy various different types of meat. So what is that next recipe that you want to teach us?
So my next recipe that I would like to teach you is our marinated overnight meat.
Okay.
It can be any type of meat that you like. Us as children, we like different meat. Some like chicken, lamb, beef, you name it.
Listen, you're a fancy student if you love lamb and you can afford your lamb.
I try my best, I don't wanna lie. So over here we have my meat, and I have lemon, and I have my spice and herbs, spices. You can choose what type of spices you wanna add.
Okay.
And
So if you want a bit more of a bite, you can add the paprika or the chili flakes. Or if you just want more of the meaty ones, you can stick to, I mean, I'm very lazy. I just buy you go into the spice aisle and it just says spices for meat. You're good to go.
It's all up to you. So in this recipe, what we'll need is our Clover Bliss double cream yogurt. And we'll just need a bit of 1 scoop of this yogurt. Let me just open that.
Fantastic. Here we go.
There you go. And you're just gonna pour it inside your meat to just marinate it.
And that's also great, something you can prepare well in advance. So while you're marinating the meat, you've got your spices in there, you can go ahead and do that for us, and then you can pop that into the fridge for whenever you are ready. So I think, you know, for a student on a Sunday is probably the best time to meal prep. So you'll plan your menu ahead. You know, you maybe Monday night you're gonna have your marinated meat, so that's a great recipe to do quite like the day before. Amazing.
So this, you're just gonna pop it in your zip bag, and then you're gonna pop it in the freezer, and then you're gonna eat it when you're ready, and it's all done and marinated.
Oh, fantastic. So now we've taken care of breakfast. I feel like this is lunch, and now we're going to move over to some dinner. And this is a favorite of mine. When it comes to mince, I feel like that is probably the one dish that can be stretched in 100 different ways. So what are you going to be making for us?
Do you mind helping me?
I don't mind at all. Tell me what I can do.
So we have your tacos here, and you have your mashed avocado with some cheese and your mince.
Oh, fantastic.
So it's up to you. You can add a dish of mince first.
Okay.
And then avo and top it up with some cheese.
Let's do that. So I have got our mince right here. And this is also something that's great for student sharing. If you maybe have a roommate or you're perhaps having your friends over for dinner. Tacos and nachos, you can never, ever go wrong. So we've got
and don't forget to add your Clover double cream yogurt, please.
Definitely, don't forget that. So we're going to add some of our avo, a little bit of guacamole. There we go. Do you want to add a dollop of our Clover Bliss? I'll season it with a bit of pepper for us.
That's pepper and salt, eh?
Salt and pepper.
Now please have this.
Fantastic. And then we finish it off with a lot and lots of cheese. There we go.
Sorry.
Oh, fantastic. Well, Buko, I know you're not going anywhere. You're going to be hanging out with us. If you want to get your hands on these 3 easy recipes that you can prepare well in advance, and of course, if you are a student and you want some tips and tricks on how to make your own life a bit easier, head on over to our website, that is expressoshow.com, to get your hands on these delicious recipes.
With the creamy decadence of double cream bliss from Clover, yogurt has never been so irresistible.
Made with love by Clover. Only you can make my day.
This is nothing. This is just who we are.
Alfredo! Dai, Alfredo.
We date Italian.
So, Florence.
We drive Italian. Living la dolce vita. And now you can see. That's what it is. Gatle, gatle. We're Italian.
Perfect.
That's why I was pizza. I'm Italiano. And we always eat Italian. Every day. Fetis and mornings. Bravo to you.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Welcome back. Now, he seems to have opinions and insights on absolutely everything. News editor Roy Simpson back again to help us unpack what is happening. And right now, we're casting our eyes a little bit wider to international events now. And as always, please join that conversation by sending us a WhatsApp voice note to 06340 All right, Roy, let's tackle this. What's happening in Tennessee? We saw in Cape Town, the annual Pride March was hosted. It was hugely successful. It was colorful. It was, just saw smiles all over. I followed it on Instagram, wrapping up, of course, a string of LGBTQIA plus events. But in Tennessee, and this is the first of a string of states that's tackling into, and they're saying, hang on, no. What is happening? What exactly is going on?
They're doing more than say hang on.
Yeah.
So this is quite specifically anti-LGBTQIA plus. I think we need a better term than that. I think we need a catch-all term, something like sexually progressive.
Yeah.
I think the community needs to work on that. Anyway, that's the community that's being targeted. So specifically, this legislation is against drag shows. And the legislation, though, as it stands, is it's about on public land, because they can't regulate private land quite that way. So it's on public land. It needs to be prurient, which means, sexually charged in some way, and it needs to involve children. So that's a lot of little caveats and corners on that particular piece of legislation. And there's already legislation. So in Tennessee, and you spoke of these other states, there are probably 11 more states with laws a lot like this in the pipeline. And man, there are already laws in place to deal with these things. There's pornography laws in Tennessee that already govern the performance of drag shows. So this is symbolic. This is very much an attack on the community. And it's part of that culture war that the Americans seem to be engaged in. And certainly the right wing of America has labeled it a culture war. And if you're looking for an origin, I think it's wrapped up in a backlash to the progressiveness that has happened in the past couple of decades. So this is an attack on rights in the same way as Roe v. Wade.
Yes.
It was removed as an attack on women's rights. This is a similar attack.
But I mean, this is just, looking at this, I mean, it's going to cause so much internal turmoil for the United States, because you mentioned earlier, we spoke about it off air, the coastal states are very much relaxed. But internally, there's this kind of boiling happening, and it's I don't know how to put it into words exactly, because I mean it goes far as well. The fact that there was medical treatment curb for transgender youth,
correct,
which I think gets people hot under the collar.
Well, you've got a situation where the United States is really polarized, and somehow they've got themselves into a scenario where you're in two camps. You're either a Democrat or a Republican. There isn't really a middle ground to be in. And so they've managed to create this culture war narrative. And when I say they, I know the Southern Poverty Law Center, for example, has looked into various hate groups that they've labeled as hate groups. And there's a matrix where these anti-LGBTI organizations cross over with the white supremacist organizations. So it's almost like a backlash of the patriarchy trying to reestablish itself.
All right. Well, let's leave it at that. Let's head to the skies for a second here. Lufthansa doing something incredible, going to change your way and experience when it comes to long distance travel. Double beds, I'm hearing things.
For real. So this is the Allegris category that they're introducing this year. They're putting it into the planes this year, and then it'll roll out as a product you and I can buy in theory.
Okay, talk me through this. I want to know.
So that'll be available next year. So the seats are 1 meter wide. They're heated, climate controlled, so you can heat or cool them. Yeah, okay. Absolutely. And in the one cabin configuration, you can have two seats directly next to each other. So you've got this 2 meter width, and then that folds out into a proper double bed. A normal double bed's what, 1 3/4 meters. So it's a big double bed, literally. And then there are these wooden-looking panels that you slide. So you have this entire space, like a mini hotel room. It's the return of the age of opulence. You must look for these things online. You must look up Lufthansa Allegris, and you will see the photos. It's insane. It's beautiful. It's opulent and stylish and expensive.
I was about to say, I mean, here you're literally buying a piece of real estate that you give back when you land. Yeah. I'm sure. I mean, I don't even, we know that first class, business class, it sets you back quite a bit. But this must be then on another level if we're talking about that level of comfort.
Well, we haven't seen the prices yet, but I'm not sure that you and I know exactly how much it sets you back. Because I had a quick look. Lufthansa from Joburg to Paris, for example, on a good day, 63,000. On a bad day, 88,000. But I mean, if you're going to travel in this kind of luxury, you'd want a decent long-haul flight. So you'd want to go to, let's say, New York.
Yeah.
116,000 rand per seat return to New York from Johannesburg. So this is going to be more expensive. So if you want the double cabin, you're going to look at two people. Are you going to fork out about 300,000 rand?
Yeah, no, look, I can think of much better ways to put that money to use. But again, you know, it would be nice to experience, I'm just saying.
Someone should go along and you know, write a review.
Maybe. Look at Roy putting himself front center. Roy, thank you very much for joining us this morning, but you're not going anywhere. Stick around. Remember, 063 408863. That is our WhatsApp line if you want to comment on any of the news headlines. But Roy is here to unpack right now. Come on, spell.
Oh, well, listen, I feel like you guys need to come and join me here because goeiemôre, hou vas want dis tyd vir nog 'n ronde van die super sensitiewe spelling bee kompetisie.
It's the super sensitive spelling bee game.
And I feel like I can't put Ewan up against Roy because this would just be completely unfair. So Ewan, you're going to host this for us.
Dis reg. Ek gaan vir julle 'n speletjie speel op hierdie maandagooggend en ons het die baie gewilde suur sweetie sour sweets just for you.
These are jawbreakers, so don't bite into them.
Yeah, just swing it around your mouth. But you guessed that the theme is Afrikaans. You know the rules. There are 3 rounds, 3 sets of words for each contender, varying length and difficulty that you will need to spell correctly. And to make things more challenging, today's tooth sensitivity trigger, like I've mentioned, super sour sweets. Super seer sweeties.
Sweeties, is it?
Exactly. So have you guys decided amongst yourselves who is going to go first?
No, I hadn't even decided I was going at all 4 seconds ago. Sorry, you may.
Roy, I'll do that. Thank you so much. I mean, you are our news aficionado on the show, so let me see if I can do this.
Kom ons kyk of julle Afrikaans kan spel. Julle eerste woord is kom, bring daai woord. Sertifikaat. Sertifikaat. Hoe is die sweetie?
Hy is baie suur. Moet ek in Afrikaans of Engels spel?
Natuurlijk Afrikaans spel.
S-E-R-T-I-F-I-K-A-A-R-T.
Jy het dit amper gehad. Almost had it. Sê weer?
Is dit 1A?
Nee, sertifikaat.
Ek mis 'n R.
This moeilijk. When you're being put on the spot like this, I mean, I've been through 2 rounds of this now.
Kan jy in Afrikaans spel? So it's S-E-R-T-I-F-E-R.
Nope. Yeah. Jammer. Okay, ons beweeg aan. Ek is jammer. Sy gaan jou sweetie, daar is sertifikaat vir jou. Dis nie kaart nie, sertifikaat, nee. Sertifikaat, ons het hom. Roy, are you ready?
This is going to be the video my children remind me of every time I go through clunker with them from now on. Okay,
Precies. I'll say, we have enough level of sourness there, meneer. I can see it on your face. Okay, let's see. Your next word, or the word that you need to spell is ernstig. Ernstig, being serious.
Yeah. R-N-S-T-I. G.
Jy het hom. 1 point for Roy Simpson. Okay, I do feel that was a little bit easier than certificate. So are you still on the first suite?
I am, now upgrade.
Okay, 1-0 to Roy. Your next word, Zoe. Hier is wat jy moet spel. Kom ons kyk. Bring gou vir my daai woord. Sekuriteit. Sekuriteit. Security in Afrikaans.
Sekuriteit.
Sekuriteit.
You are I-T-E-I-T.
Jy het hom reg, sekuriteit. I can see how you're writing it mentally and physically with your fingers. Fantastic. 1-1, that's the score. All right, Roy.
Cut.
Now, we have to up the ante. Ons moet 'n bietjie moeiliker maak vir Roy this morning. Let's get into, your word is, uiteindelik. Uiteindelik.
Of course it is.
Dit is, uiteindelik is dit maandag en ons kan 'n nuwe week begin.
U-I-T-E-N-D-E-L-E-K.
Yes! Congratulations, Roy. There's nothing wrong. You can sort your kids out with Afrikaans. 2-1 is the score now. Super sensitive spelling. B. Next word, Zoe. Is jy reg? Is selfbeheersing. Roy? Selfbeheersing.
I think Roy's happy. You can go first.
Ja. Selfbeheersing.
S-E-L-F-B-E-H-E-R-S-I-G.
Jy mis net so klein lettertjie. Selfbeheersing.
N-G.
There we go. Sal ons dit vir haar gee? We shall. Okay. So the score is now even. The score is now even. Roy, are you ready for your next one?
No.
Is that sweet still sour, my friend?
It's
Transition to
Is it
bubble
transition? Okay, your next word, Roy, is
I'll play that.
Oh!
verantwoordelikheid. Verantwoordelikheid.
V-E-R-A-N-T. Weer verantwoordelijkheid. O-O-R-D-L-E-K. Where are we? Are we in like the 17th syllable already?
Yeah, the 21st, but it's okay, carry on.
R-E-D. Verantwoordelijkheid.
Verantwoordelikheid, jy mis net 'n ietsie.
What is he missing?
A brain.
Verantwoordelikheid.
Waar was ons?
You
Weer.
missing E, I think. Verantwoordelijkheid.
L-E-K-H-O-O-D.
Yeah, verantwoordelik woord. Yeah, we're just missing a brain this morning. You're forgiven. Okay, we're not going to give you that one. Okay, so if Zoe takes this one, she is the winner.
Oh, is there one more word?
Is daar nog 'n woord? Ons is nou klaar. Ek speel so lekker
So it's a
hierso.
draw.
All right, so it's a tie. It's a tie. Congratulations.
Thank you, Roy.
Mense, sien Afrikaans is lekker. Now, if you suffer from teeth sensitivity, then you have a verantwoordelikheid to do something about it. So switch to the #1 dentist recommended brand for sensitive teeth. Switch to Sensodyne. Baie dankie. Sien jou nou.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your feel-good breakfast show. No tongue twisters here, but life might not be perfect, but your makeup can be. And prepping your skin before applying makeup is so important. Now, primer is designed to smooth out your skin and create an even canvas prior to painting that entire portrait. And here to help us prepare our skin for flawless coverage is professional makeup artist Wasim van Vught. He is here. Wasim, it's so great to have you here because I love talking makeup, but most importantly, looking after your skin before you begin. Now tell me, why is it so important that we prepare our skin before applying any makeup?
It's so important to prepare your skin before foundation because you're creating a canvas whereby you can have a very smooth application. So we're looking at silky, smooth, primer. Sorry, just give me a second.
No, all good. But you've also got beautiful products that helps you to prepare your skin.
Yeah.
Now, we've got our model here in front of us. So if you want to prepare her skin before she applies her foundation, what are those steps that you're going to start off with?
We're going to start off with cleanser and exfoliator. So prior to the segment, I have applied skin functionals. On the skin, it has 10% lactic acid as well as your 5% B5. It's basically just going to even out the skin tone. And then just prepare the skin for your next step.
And you want your skin to be glowy but not oily. You want your skin to be smooth. What are some of the products we can use to help create that smoothness?
That smoothness.
Yes.
Okay, I have started off with W Beauty's Purifying Cleansing Gel. So that's what I started off with. You apply like a very small amount on your face. You can foam it up and definitely apply it and then just wash it off with some water.
Okay. And that's something, I mean, getting into a good skincare routine is something you need to have. I mean, I wash my face twice a day because of the amount of makeup I wear on the show.
Yes.
But getting into a good skincare routine is so important.
It's so important. Moving on to our next step, Zoe. A lot of people tend to miss the step. This is our toning process. So with our toning process, this will remove any excess dirt that has heavy build-up that your moisturizer,
your cleanser.
My cleanser cannot remove by itself. So I'll be applying some of this toner. This is the Horwood's Beauty Glow Skin Toner. Just applying some of this product could really just make a very big difference.
And you know, there's something about this Glow Skin Toner that is so incredible. It leaves this beautiful glowiness on the skin. I mean, she's got beautiful skin already, but look at that glow that just comes with it.
Everybody's really obsessed with glow lately because natural glowy skin is all that we want. We're so focused on natural beauty.
Yes. So now that we've toned the skin, of course, I'm all for moisturizing and making sure the skin stays hydrated. But you're the professional here. What would you recommend we do next?
I'll recommend after you apply your toner, there is a moisturizer that you will use. But just before I go into the moisturizer, I love using a setting spray, an hydrating mist.
Ooh.
I'll be using the W Beauty setting spray. You can use it as an hydrating mist as well as a setter. So what it's going to do is just going to prepare your skin to receive that moisturizer that's going to follow afterwards.
Oh, fantastic. And that you can also use after you've done your makeup to make sure it stays on your face and it stays a little longer than normally.
That's correct. And then I'm going to go in with my Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Base. This is one of my all-time favorites. We're looking at a moisturizer and a primer in one. It's super rich in texture and rich in feel. It's non-greasy on your skin at all. And it really lasts the whole day.
Oh, fantastic. So, Wasim, while you do this, we're going to quickly go to the news, catch up on those top-of-the-hour headlines, and then we'll come back to see the beautiful look that you have created for us.
Amazing. Thank you, Zoe.
Thank you. Well, listen, all of these products that we've been using is available at Woolworths. You can shop it in-store, online, as well as on the Woolies app. So you're going to add some beautiful moisturizer.
Time has gone 7 o'clock. Let's take a look at your news headlines. Starting off with national news. Tributes are pouring in for Free State Education MEC Tante Makgoe, 59, who died in a car crash on the N1 outside Windburg on the early hours of yesterday morning. Makgoe and his bodyguard, Warrant Officer Voyum D, were killed when they collided with 3 stray cows. Makgoe became the Education MEC in May 2009. During his tenure, the Free State had the highest matric pass rate in the country for 4 consecutive years. Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga has described his death as a huge loss to the nation's education sector. And a Minister of Electricity is expected to be appointed this evening when President Cyril Ramaphosa reshuffles his cabinet. Presidential spokesperson Vincent Magwenya confirmed Ramaphosa would also announce cabinet changes this evening at 7 o'clock. Moreover, Magwenya said the president was deeply saddened by the death of Free State MEC Tante Makgoe and his bodyguard in a car accident in the Free State early yesterday. The president also expressed his condolences to the families of the 19 people who died in Limpopo on Friday in a road accident. Making international news headlines on this Monday morning, China will increase military spending by more than 7% this year while warning of escalating threats. This was announced at the National People's Congress, a rubber-stamp parliament, which is due to confirm President Xi Jinping's 3rd term. Beijing's military budget, around $225 billion, is still dwarfed by that of the United States, which is 4 times larger. But analysts believe China downplays how much it spends on defense. And France will contribute $36.15 million to a new EU humanitarian aid initiative for the Democratic Republic of Congo's, the DRC's, conflict-hit Eastern Territory. President Emmanuel Macron said this weekend during an official visit to the capital on Kinshasa. On Friday, a dozen or more Congolese anti-French protesters on a busy road in Kinshasa passed out leaflets to boost opposition to Macron's visit. The DRC is not a former French colony, but perceptions of French support for neighboring Rwanda have stoked anti-French feelings. And then lastly, the passing of media legend Mark Pilgrim yesterday morning at the age of 53 has led to a flood of tributes and condolences shared on social media. Pilgrim succumbed after a long battle with cancer. Hot 107 FM's general manager, Lloyd Mudarai, said Pilgrim had fought valiantly to the very end and had passed peacefully at home with his fiancée, Adrian, at his side. Pilgrim started his broadcasting career at SABC Radio and worked for radio stations such as 94.7 Highveld Stereo and 5FM. In 2014, he joined community station Hot 91.9 FM and bagged 2 SA Radio Awards in his time there. He was inducted into the SA Radio Awards Hall of Fame in 2021 and made his mark in TV, hosting numerous primetime shows over the years, including Memory, South Africa's first ever Big Brother. He was also a sought-after voice artist, published author, MC, corporate DJ, a motivational speaker, and held a BCom degree in industrial psychology and an MBA from Edinburgh Business School. It is definitely with great sadness that we bring you this news this morning, and again, our condolences go out to his family and those that was close to him. Right now, your sports. In your sporting news this morning, starting off with soccer, Liverpool delivered their complete performance, and 2 goals from Mo Salah saw him become the club's record Premier League goalscorer as Manchester United were overwhelmed 7-0. Salah's 2nd goal was his 129th for the Reds in the league as he broke Robbie Fowler's record. Darwin Núñez and Cody Gakpo also scored twice as Liverpool recorded their biggest win over Man United. Then Arsenal scored late to claim a 3-2 win over Bournemouth and maintain their 5 lead over Man City, who beat Newcastle 2-0. Chelsea claimed a 1-0 win over Leeds, while Spurs lost by the same score to the Wolves. Staying with soccer, Stellenbosch showed their resilience once again after they fought back from a goal down to earn a 1-1 draw with Mamelodi Sundowns. The Brazilians dropping points for the first time in 16 matches. Orlando Pirates thumped Swallows 4-1 thanks to a hat-trick from Monapule Saleng, while Soweto rivals Kaizer Chiefs claimed a 1-0 victory over 10-man Richards Bay with Siyabonga Nkezana's 8th-minute goal proving to be a winner. A brace from Zakele Lepasa ensured SuperSport United maintained their grip on 2nd place with a 2-1 triumph over Golden Arrows. Then over to some rugby news this morning. The Stormers extended their winning run at home to 21 matches, but were mighty relieved to have got home 29-23 against the Sharks. The Stormers scored 4 tries that were full value for their 26-6 lead after 55 minutes. The Durban side fought back with a 2-man advantage, but were unable to completely overhaul the deficit. Lions scrum half Sanele Nohamba scored 24 points as his side caused a major upset, beating the Bulls 29-25. Nohamba scored a try, kicked 2 conversions and 5 penalties as his side exploited some poor discipline by the home side. And we're ending off with Formula One news. Max Verstappen started the new season as he ended the last with a dominant victory in the Middle East. The 2-time champion led the Bahrain Grand Prix almost from start to finish, initially lapping at a pace beyond his rivals and then controlling the race. Verstappen's 36th victory underlined his status as favourite for a 3rd consecutive world title. Sergio Perez made it a Red Bull 1-2 ahead of an inspired drive by Aston Martin's Fernando Alonso in 3rd. And that's where we leave your sport headlines for now. The traffic is starting to build, so we are standing by.
We start off with traffic in Bloemfontein, Free State. The Nihau strike is proceeding this morning, and currently there are tyres being burned in front of the Pelonomi Hospital. Please steer clear of this area and use an alternative route this morning. Then in Germiston, Johannesburg, there's a stationary truck on the N12 westbound after Voortrekker Road. The lane is closed. Please drive carefully. And in Cape Town, in the Western Cape, there's been an accident. It's on the N2 inbound at Jakes Gerwel Drive. All lanes are open. Expect delays. Well, that's your traffic for this morning. Let's take another look at your weather. And we're going to kick off with some great environmental news. Nations have reached an historic agreement to protect the world's oceans following years, in fact, 10 years of negotiations. Now, the High Seas Treaty places 30% of the seas into protected areas by 2030, aiming to safeguard and recuperate marine nature. The agreement was reached on Saturday evening after 38 hours of talks at the UN headquarters in New York. The last international agreement on ocean protection was signed 40 years ago in 1982. That agreement established an area called the High Seas, international waters where all countries have a right to fish, ship and do research, but only 1.2% of these waters were protected. Marine life living outside of these protected areas had been at risk from climate change, overfishing and shipping traffic. Countries will need to meet again to formally adopt the agreement and then have plenty of work to do before the treaty can be implemented. Well, for your 7 a.m. update, that is a bit of news for you regarding the environment. Let's now turn our attention to your sunrise views. Heather in Bryanston kicked us off with this beautiful look at those busy trees and the pretty hues before she heads out to work today. Eileen in Somerset West headed out for a stroll with her dogs and snapped this picture and shared it with us. Louise G. Cherry shared this beautiful view from, look at the sky being filled with tangerine colors, and that is a beautiful way to start the day. And then let's take a look at another look at your sunrise view. So if you have one that you want to share with us, please do so on our WhatsApp line. If you don't know that number, it's 063 408 8863. Let's look at those temperatures. If you're in Polokwane, your low is 19, your high 30. Mbombela 20 with a high of 31. Pretoria 17, 31. If you are in Johannesburg, 15 is your low, 29 your high. Mahikeng 17 with a high of 30. Klerksdorp, your low is 16, your high 31. Kimberley, a low of 18, a high of 30. Bloemfontein 11 with a high, 11's your low, a high of 29. Richards Bay 22 reaching a high of 30. Pietermaritzburg 18, 28. Durban 22 reaching a high of 28. Rainy conditions in Mthatha, 16's your low, 27 your high. East London, 18, reaching a high of 27. If you're in Craddock, 12's your low, 28 your high. Gqeberha, 15 with a high of 22. George 15 reaching a high of 19 with some rain for today. Cape Town 17 reaching a high of 20. Rainy conditions in Worcester, 14's your low, 20 your high. Sutherland 9, 18, and if you're in Uppington, 19's your low, 32 degrees Celsius. That is your high for today. We'll have a final weather update for you shortly after 8.
Thank you very much, Zoe. That's it for your weather now. The Monday is in full swing. It's all about student meals as well today. We want to know what your budget student meals go-tos were. Send us those voice notes, 063 40 88863. Also, still coming up on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, we know that South Africa is facing another water shortage also here in Cape Town. We're going to unpack that and see what that is looking like, and also ways that we can go about helping the issue along as well. We do not want another day zero. For now, though, some more beauty tips on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Well, now that the skin is prepped, we are back with Wasima as we take a look at what you have done to our beautiful model's skin.
Okay, so what I've done this far is I've applied the Bobbi Brown enriched vitamin base, and this is your moisturizer as well as your primer in one. It's like one of Bobbi Brown's best sellers. Definitely one of those go-to products.
Oh, fantastic.
Just to add on to that, I'll be applying the Stella One Step. It's a color corrector and a brightening product. And then you can definitely follow it up with the other one, which is also the moisturizer from Skin Hero, which is available from Woolworths as well.
Oh, well, fantastic. Her skin is glowing, and that's what you want. So skin prep is so important, especially if you're going to be wearing makeup, being out and about with the elements, and of course, adapting a really good skincare routine is just as important. So now you're adding the color corrector, and she's ready for her foundation.
And she's ready for her foundation. I'm applying a little bit of color correcting. It is quite a little bit fair in color, so I'm using a very little bit amount of product.
Okay.
Definitely the fairer you are, you can definitely use a lot more product. But this will literally just brighten up the skin. I'm focusing on the center of the face, Zoe, so I'm not going anywhere on the outskirts of it because I don't want to put high brightness all over.
Okay, okay. Well, Wasim, it's great having you here, showing us all these different tips and tricks. And if you want to get your hands on these fantastic products that we are using to make sure we prime and prep our skin ahead of our foundation, you can shop it in-store, online, as well as on the Woolies app.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. You tune into your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is a fresh Monday. Now, some rather serious news right now. In 2016 to 2018, Cape Town, of course, faced a crippling drought. And since then, water levels were restored. However, in recent days, the City of Cape Town's National Department of Water and Sanitation has called for residents to lower their water consumption as the rise in water usage could lead to pre-drought levels. We do not want that. Now, last week, the mayor stipulated that Cape Town's dams are above 50%, but it's The model showed that dam levels would drop by below 50% by the end of summer if we don't meet the proactive water savings target. Now, joining us this morning to unpack this very important topic is the acting member of the Mayoral Committee for Water and Sanitation, Councillor Siseko Mbandezi. Siseko, thank you very much for joining us, my friend. How are you doing this morning?
Thanks for having me. I'm fine, thank you.
Good. Listen, the water issue is not that fine. Paint us a picture. What are we seeing? What are some of your concerns?
Okay. Remember, the city of Cape Town receives its water from surface level dams, and currently our dam storage is sitting at 55%, and we are worried that at the beginning of winter we may be sitting just below 50%. And that is the reason now we urge residents and businesses to conserve or be water-wise and use less water, especially for outdoor activities.
Absolutely. And while we have you here, we always speak about this, of course, load shedding having an effect on our water supply as well. What effect has it exactly? Please unpack that so we can all understand.
Okay. Look, the impact of load shedding into the water reticulation process and water supply is huge. Firstly, you understand that the production of water in water treatment plants requires energy. And now any disruption in that then disrupts the production in terms of quantity of water. That's the first thing. The second thing is that even the wastewater treatment plant and sewer pump station, because of the city of Cape Town is leveled, so 70% of our sewer pump station needs energy to be able to pump sewer into wastewater treatment plants. So now when you have load shedding problem, especially prolonged load shedding issues, that impacts on the spillages because the sewer pump stations aren't designed to have a sump at which you can store water. So, but fortunately, in the city of Cape Town, we've made significant investments in generators to try to curb the problem.
What are some of the wastewater initiatives that the city is looking at to try and curb and to not infect our clean drinking water supplies? We've seen some of those tanks overflowing with regards to the sewage, closing of beaches happened. What are you doing from your side? What's the plans going forward?
Okay. Firstly, I think it is important to highlight the fact that the sewer spillages, there are two main causes of sewer spillages. One are foreign objects that you find in the pipeline. The second one is load shedding. So what we are doing as the city, as I've indicated, we've increased our investment into generators and energy supply. Currently, we've got 93 of our sewer pump stations that have got generators. We are looking into putting UPS in some of these sewer pump stations so that there's a constant power supply into them. That's the first one. The second one is that we're doing our pipe replacements to make sure also that the infrastructure is able to deal with the pressures. And then thirdly, we are installing pressure managing valves in the potable or drinking water as well, so that you are able to stop the leaking of water from the pipelines. So the city deliberately is investing in our both clean water and wastewater to make sure that we are not finding ourselves in a disaster situation.
Well, it's good to hear that there are those plans in place, but at the end of the day, it's up to us citizens to use less water, to go about water in I think, in a mindful way, making sure that, acting from a place where we know that we don't want another day zero.
No, we'll never have a day zero in Cape Town, because we have deliberately, in the next 8 years, we are budgeting 5 billion rand. This 5 billion rand is to make sure that we are adding 300 million liters of water a day, not from the surface water, in other words, not from the dams. It's from the water reuse at Foreign, it is the aquifers drilling, and it is desalination. So these three investments that we are making, we would, at the end, make sure that we're bringing online these 300 million liters of water. So we'll never be able to get to day zero, never.
No, for sure. And I know that there's a lot of plans, so thank you very much for that. We're going to be back with Councillor Siseko in just a little bit. Cholera outbreak in South Africa as well. We will know exactly where we stand.
Thank you, gentlemen. Well, it's time for us to spend some time in the kitchen, and we are putting the spotlight on affordable recipes that you can make in a jiffy. Now, this one will just take 20 minutes, and it's the perfect Monday night dinner solution.
With the creamy decadence of double cream bliss from Clover, yogurt has never been so irresistible.
Made with love by Clover.
And this Moorish savory dish, it is packed with Asian flavors and it goes really easy on the wallet. Now you can use day-old rice or even some leftovers that you might have in the fridge. It's super easy to make and it's guaranteed to be a crowd pleaser. We have Buko right here in studio to show us exactly how it's made. Now, I did say earlier when you were showing us the great meal prep ideas that mince is one of those things that really you can stretch it so many ways. And you're about to show us how to make a delicious one inspired with some Asian flavors.
Yes, and as a student, you always have leftovers in your fridge.
Yes, you
because
do.
You do stay alone and you tend to cook overboard. So today I will be making fried beef mince. Firstly, you're gonna always remember to put your stove on medium-high heat. So this is your oil.
Fantastic.
Then this is your mince.
Okay. And we're also going to, get those flavors coming through. So we're gonna pop the mince in. Fantastic. And then I see you've also got some chili paste, some garlic paste, as well as a bit of ginger. And I know those are great flavors that always work really, really well.
So you want to cook your mince until it's brownish, you would say. And once that's done, you're gonna add your garlic, your chili, and also your onions.
Okay, fantastic. Really just to get those flavors coming through. There we go. Now, when you make some mince, it's one of those meals where, I say meals, it's one of those dishes where you can cook it in bulk and then really stretch it out, or do you cook as you need?
I cook as I need, or I cook for 2 days.
Okay.
Because
so do you eat the same dish for 2 days, or do you rather than try and change it up?
I eat it for 2 days because I don't want to eat it for like 3 or 4 days because...
You'll get over it.
I'll get over it, that's correct. And these are my onions.
Fantastic. Oh, and these are great flavors that you're using that's going to come through. And I know that we're also using, I believe it's some red chili paste that you're going to be adding.
Here it is.
Fantastic. Oh, so we are playing around with those spicy flavors. And in front of me, I'm going to be making the dressing. So I've got some coriander. We're going to use a little bit of our Clover Bliss double cream plain yogurt. Just going to add about a tablespoon to this recipe. And then we're going to mix in a little bit of our mayo. And what is great is we are using our Clover Bliss double cream plain yogurt in this recipe because you're guaranteed delicious flavors thanks to the creamy indulgence that really balances out that heat that's coming from our mince. So I'm just going to give this a bit of a mixture. And we're also adding some of the chilies. Oh, so when I was a student, mince was my go-to.
It's everyone's go-to.
It's everyone's go-to. To this day, it is still my go-to. I make a big pot and then I pop it into the freezer, like into portions. And then one night I'll have a little cottage pie. The next night I'll just have mince and spaghetti bolognese. The next day, I mean, I wasn't as creative as doing it with some fried rice, but I definitely found various ways to just stretch that mince dish. Or sometimes you make a little lasagna just to play around with it.
I love lasagna. And let me tell you something. As a student, you have to be creative.
You do.
You have to put 1 + 1 together so that you can eat at night and sleep.
Eat it, but also, I mean, let's be real, as a student, you want to go out and socialize with your friends, so you try stretch the grocery budget as much as you can so that you still have some budget left for some fun things as well.
You're correct there.
Okay, fantastic. So now I have got our dressing ready, you have got our mince ready, and then it's simply just assembling our dish. So we've got our bowl of cooked rice, finishing it off with our
mince,
our chili mince that you've made. This is going to be a big bowl, so we'll have to be sharing this one. Fantastic. And then we're going to use a little bit of our dressing. Can I go ahead and just put it over for us? And look at that. A great way to finish off your dish, and then you can finish it off with some miniature herbs, some sesame seeds, because this is, you know, I love the ideas you're bringing to the table. And if you want to get your hands on this recipe, it is available on our website, expressoshow.com. If you've missed any of the steps, we have got a recap for you.
Made with love by Clover.
Sensodyne repair and protect with deep repair. The science is pretty amazing. It really goes deep and repairs tooth sensitivity. The science is there. It's going to improve their quality of life in a big way. This is the first thing I recommend.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You are tuned into your Feel Good Breakfast Show on S3. Wonderful to be hanging out with you this morning. Now, in the past week, the city of Cape Town stipulated that water usage has reached 1 billion litres a day. Now, the city has made an important call for residents to please reduce their water usage to 850 million litres daily to avoid water restrictions and to prevent pre-drought levels. Now, joining us this morning to unpack this very important topic is the acting member of the Mayoral Committee for Water and Sanitation, Councillor Siseko Mandezi. Siseko, welcome back. quite worrisome. There's been a cholera outbreak across Africa, 6 reported cases in Gauteng. Nothing in the other provinces up until now, which is good news. But I mean, you say the word cholera and you talk about a possible drought situation. That is cause for some panic. What is the city doing to ensure that water is checked and monitored regularly to curb the spread of the disease?
Look, thanks. The city of Cape Town drinking water quality is excellent, right? We have been given or awarded blue drop certificates by the Department of Water and Sanitation for 3 things: the quality of our water, the quality of the management of, in fact, the management of our water quality system, and the consistency thereof. So those 3 things. So in terms of the quality of our water, we're not worried, because also we are measuring the compliance in terms of SANS 241 standards. And what we do, we test our water during the process of water production in water plants, after the process of production, and at different points in the distribution. And we do over 470,000 tests a year, which is about 250 tests weekly. Our scientific services in Athlone is the best. In fact, we train other water scientists from other municipalities in terms of checking the water quality, the management of water quality. So in terms of City of Cape Town, we're not worried, because cholera, remember, goes with the quality of water, the presence of E. coli in water. So in the City of Cape Town, we're not worried.
I think this is always the question that people start asking, especially when we hear about drought levels. Is it safe to drink from the taps? And you've established that, but are there any signs that we can look out for contaminated water, especially in taps? How can residents know?
Okay, the 2 things that people can, with the eye, look out for. One, remember, water needs to be transparent. Also, it needs to be odorless, right? So those 2 things would indicate to you if there's a problem. Okay. But also, sometimes in the City of Cape Town, we do get our water have a milky line kind of color. That is just a natural compound which you find in beetroot, or when there is rain after a hot summer day, you can smell in the air. That is precisely that. But also, very important, when there is risk or when there is a danger into water, scientific service would give, or we will, as a city, alert people and warn them to say that you need to boil your water. But I must also state this, because we're doing this massive pipe replacement program, and sometimes when we do that, we shut the water, then we replace pipes and all of that. So when it comes back, it does get that color because of the air as well in the pipes. But people should not worry, because when there is a risk, we will come up front and tell people.
All right. So it's safe to drink tap water, that we know. Just quickly, I know that residents have been urged to follow municipality guidelines with regards to water usage. We need to hit the target of 850 million litres, otherwise we are facing another drought situation. Where can people go to find out these guidelines if they are unsure?
Okay. Before we get to that, there are just 4 things that I want to say to people. Indeed, our target is 850 million litres a day. It's our proactive target, and that's the first thing. The second thing is that all we are asking people to do is to reduce their outdoor water usage by 50%. So, 1, if they wash a car, a caravan or something like that, they should use a bucket.
Yeah,
don't use
keep
a
the hose
hose pipe and those kinds of things. Secondly, you can install in your hose pipe a start and stop device so that you curb the usages. Thirdly, those who have pools, cover your pool after you swim or whatever to stop the evaporation, because a covered pool has a 95% stoppage of evaporation. And then also children, the children should be supervised and checked when it's nice and hot in the day, so they don't play with water. So that's all we're asking. Drop your outdoor water usage by just 50%.
I think it's a simple case of just being mindful. I think we all know this. I think it's just we need to implement it, be mindful around our water usage. Just quickly, where can people go to find those guidelines?
To find the guidelines, people can go to www.capetown.gov.za, and then you can click on the guidelines of water usage.
Councillor Siseko, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Honored to have you here this morning. Thank you very much. And that is it. Just be mindful with regards to your water usage. Now, a little bit later on, still connecting on the drought issue that we are potentially facing. We're going to speak to one organisation that is making it their mission to provide clean drinking water to South Africans.
Oh, well, listen, it's time for us to bring a performance to your Feel Good Breakfast show. And this morning we are joined by African Black Asa, an artist spiritually driven to write songs and poetry. Now, she has a good head on her shoulders as well, being a graduate in mechanical engineering. She has a new single out. It's titled I Am Love, which we will be hearing a little bit later throughout the show. But we first want to get to know Asa a little bit better. It's your first time on Expresso.
Yes, yes.
Lots going on.
Yes.
But of course, we want to get to know you a little bit better. For you, what is that relationship, the relationship between art and spiritual energy?
Okay, for me, I have to connect into spiritual energy in order to have the connection between my emotions. So, and then the emotions that I have, I only express it through art. And that's the way that I have that relationship between the two.
So you bring it out through your art of music, but also physical painting.
Yes.
Tell me about your beautiful art piece that you brought along, because is that more for you to just as a creative release, or do you also now add to that long resume artist?
Actually, yes. That's the reason why I call myself an artist, because I don't want to be limited in terms of being a creative. So that is also something that I do, because I developed it in actually 2020, because I had nothing to do. So it came about it. So it's where I come from. My mother is an artist. She does everything with her hands, from sewing to gardening, to everything that she can, anything that she can touch. So I actually emulated that from her.
Okay.
So, yes.
Because I was about to ask you, I mean, you come from a family of artists, so it's been around you. Where did your first love for music, where did that start?
Okay, when I was around 8 or 9, we would go onto an Easter Saturday, and then we would, as my sisters, 4 of us, we would sing in a competition, and then we would take home a crown or a value or prize. And but then I could only be a backup singer, so that was the start of my music. But at the time, it stopped. And then I grew up, and then I focused on other things. And then it came back again, because it's something that's within me.
Yeah, well, listen, it is beautiful. I've heard your sound check. We're about to get into your first song. Now, tell me a little bit more about what the song Tutuse means to you.
Okay, Tutuse is a song that is more speaking to my mother and out there as well, because I grew up in an unconditional love home. And when you go out there, and then you experience the conditional love. So it's me asking my mother, did you teach me the other one?
Okay. Hey.
So, but at the same time, I did realize that what she taught me, which is unconditional love, was enough.
Oh, well, listen, a beautiful story behind this song. It's so great to have you here. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the track. On your Feel Good Breakfast show. It's wonderful having you here, hearing that beautiful voice, having us all captivated, and of course, starting off our Monday morning on such a beautiful note. Well, stay tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast show. We'll have more coming your way.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast show, and this morning we asked you our question on social media. What were your student meals on a budget? We wanted those voice notes, but most importantly, those comments. Now let's take a look at what you had to say on social media. Al Giata says, 2-minute noodles with sweet chili sauce every day. Add a different protein, whatever was left over from dinner or any canned fish or meat. Listen, I can relate to that. 2-minute noodles and tuna. Those were probably my staples as a student. Rosita says, good morning, my Expresso family. Sliced bologna and bread. Makopa says, good morning. Instant porridge or oats, that's all. Oh, I think we've all had our fair share of eating some breakfast for dinner and breakfast for lunch. We just mix the meals like that. Then Pam says, good morning, team. It was coffee and milli meal porridge. Yes, you cannot forget about the coffee. Well, if you would love to join in on this conversation, share with us what were some of those student meals on a budget that you got to enjoy. Perhaps you're still enjoying them, and we do not judge, because yes, I still love my 2-minute noodles and I still love my tuna. So let us know on social media. If you want to send us a voice note, our number is 063 408 8863. But let's head on over into the kitchen.
Thank you very much, Zoe. We have the lovely Buko back with us, and she's going to be sorting us out with something absolutely phenomenal. Now listen, sliders, everyone's favorite, that is for sure, but we are doing a pork belly with fresh mango. It's going to be flavorful. It's going to be so good. Buko, thank you very much for joining us back in the kitchen. You've got a beautiful smile. Can we just start there?
Thank you.
Very, very nice. Okay, so listen, this is something a little bit more decadent, rich in flavor. I love the fact I can see by the ingredients you have there, a little bit of Asian style flavors going into this as well. So, floor is yours. Take us through this recipe.
Thank you. Firstly, you have your pork right here. You're going to be scoring it. And after that, you're going to be adding your sauces. The first one is the hoisin sauce. You're going to add that in there.
All right.
Following by the soya sauce. This is a bit salty, just keep in mind.
But I mean, that hoisin sauce with a soy sauce is always such a winning combination when it comes to pork, especially.
Yes, it is. And thirdly, you're going to be adding your vinegar, rice vinegar, and a bit of honey will not hurt anyone.
Definitely, and that is, I can imagine, bring that glaze to that crispiness of the fat.
and followed by your chilies.
The chilies.
The chilies.
The chilies are going to go in there. Of course, if you don't like spice, you don't have to put the chilies. But I suggest you do, because they do add a nice dynamic.
And this is your ginger and your garlic.
Oh, I can smell it from here. It smells amazing.
It is. Followed by a little bit of salt, because remember, the soya salt, it is salty itself.
Exactly.
And lastly, it's your pepper. Add that in there. And once done, you're going to be marinating your pork. You're going to marinate it for 1 hour.
Okay.
And
at
least 1 hour. And when it's done, you're going to, cook it in the oven for at least 180 degrees for 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah. Until it's nice and crispy. And you also want to, I see you scored the fat, and that is also very nice, because it helps kind of just the fat to run down and crisp it up nicely from the outside.
Yes, it is. And you can go ahead and start with that.
Okay, so what do I have here? I have some coriander. I've got some red pepper. So this is just going to be like a filling. I've got some red onion, or shallots, as they call it as well. Very fancy.
And you have your mango.
Some fresh mango. That's going to go in there. And the pineapple. Oh, look at this. And this is all great ingredients and flavors that's going to go with that sauce, the marinade that you've just made. A little bit of olive oil?
Yes, please.
Just a splash. Okay. And then lime. Lime or lemon, whatever you have at your disposal. And that's pretty much it. I mean, look how beautiful and colorful that is. My goodness. We're not going into winter at all.
We're not. We're refusing to go
all right.
to winter.
So this is it. Very, very easy. And then we have our sliders here. Very cute. I love sliders because you can eat like 5 of them at a time, which is great. So how do we put this together?
Firstly, that's your sauce, and it's your lettuce, and it's your pork right there.
Right.
So you're going to add that all together in your bunny.
Okay. So I'll just make one for now.
Okay, no problem.
But you want to be generous with the sauce.
Very generous.
Yeah. Okay. So there we have it. What sauce is this?
Oh, I forgot.
It's a beautifully... what is that?
Sriracha mayo.
It's sriracha mayo, yes. Okay, I was about to say it's got a bit of a kick. All right.
Please don't forget your pork.
I will not forget the pork. So you go ahead and do that. I mean, we have somebody that sent us a lovely little message around, you know, student meals, because that's what we are talking about. And we're also chatting to our crew. There's Chad. Chad, what's your student go-to meal, bud?
2-minute noodles, bro.
2-minute noodles?
Yeah, man. Like, I survived on 2-minute noodles.
Did you make it in a special way, bud?
Yeah, I always add some mixed veg, some nigiri, and some sesame seeds. Like a, you know, a nice ramen vibe, man.
Look at the gourmet chef coming out here. Shot, Chad.
There you go.
Listen, speaking about 2-minute noodles, have you ever tried 2-minute noodles on toast as a sandwich?
I haven't.
That's actually the best. My wife laughed at me the other day, but then I gave it to my boys, and they were like, I'm sold. I'm sold. Crispy toast, lots of butter, and that 2-minute noodles that you've drained with a nice flavor, and the, you know, whatever, the beef or the chicken or whatever the case, and just make a 2-minute noodle sandwich.
Would you have that for snack or lunch or dinner?
You know what, when I was a youngster, you know, coming home from school especially, it doesn't matter what time of the day. It could have been breakfast, could have been lunch, you know, it could have been, you know, midnight snack, but it was just one of those meals that goes down any time, which is amazing. Okay.
That's beautiful.
Can we just appreciate here? Now, we have, just before we chat further about our burger, Nicole, our kitchen fairy, what was your student go-to meal?
Hi, so I was bougie as a student, so I always would do a little bit of chopped herbs, add some fresh things, but I also like to add 2-minute noodles, lived on it, and I added cheese. Melt the cheese in your noodles, add your herbs, extra spices. It is so, so good. And if you want to be that extra bougie and you had extra budget, tuna.
Maybe it's some extra budget, add the tuna. I love it. It's like, I feel like I've missed out when I was a student, because my go-tos were literally eggs, 2-minute noodles, and coffee and rusks, pretty much. I couldn't afford tuna.
Nowadays we do.
But if you could, yeah, no, that's lovely. So here we have it. A lovely little pork slider with fresh mango, beautifully marinated as well. Now, this is definitely something that's easy to make, and you can easily sort it out if you want the hands or get your hands on that recipe. Our website is epicexpressoshow.com. Should I go in for it?
Please.
I'm going to go in.
How's it?
That's good. It's crispy.
It's a chicken salad.
And my mom never said to talk with my mouth full. But this was nice. ExpressoShow.com. Was it rude? No?
This is nothing. This is just who we are.
Alfredo! Ai. O Alfredo.
We date Italian.
Show Florence.
We drive Italian. Living la dolce vita. And now you can see. That's what it is. Gatle gatle. We're Italian.
Perfect.
That's why I was pizza. I'm Italiano. And we always eat Italian. Every day. Fetis and mornings. Bravo to you.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're tuned into your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3. What a Monday morning, man. Hope you're enjoying it with us. Now, born in a small town in the Eastern Cape, African Black Hossa is looking to make waves in the mother city with her music and use her art to heal. Hello.
Hello.
And nice to meet you. May I shake
Good
those
to meet
beautiful
you
hands?
too,
Lovely
yes.
to have you. Welcome to your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Thank you
Are we
for
feeling
having
it? Are we feeling good?
Yes, we are feeling it.
I like it. I like it. Listen, you had such a wonderful performance earlier on.
Thank you so much.
Powerful music. Talking about your music, your musical journey, because you're also a graduate of a mechanical engineer graduate.
Yes, I
How
did.
does that all fit and link together?
Okay, at home, we are taught not to focus on one thing and not to limit ourselves. And in purpose, when you find something that you love, but you cannot do it at the time, then you have to focus on the other goals that you have underlying. So that's what we were taught at home. So musically now, it's actually fitting very nice because I'm thinking I'm now going to my purpose.
Yeah.
And having been connected to my spiritual energy and having expressed my feelings and my emotions through art, that is the best way to fulfill my soul.
I love that, and I love the fact that you're saying connecting with your spiritual energy. You know, I think a lot of people want to know, how do we do that? How do we connect with our spiritual energy to find that one thing that we are meant to do?
I think when you, for me, it's more about an experience that I've went through as a person because I've gone through challenges in life and I've actually got lost somewhere, somehow, and I couldn't even relate to any spiritual energy. And then those challenges brought me some pain. And I'm not a talkative person. The only way I could do it was sing and write. And actually paint as well. So that is when I connected, because I believe there is a higher power out there. So I think with that connection that you know yourself, and that's when you connect, and then anything else, it just falls like a puzzle.
It just falls into place. Exactly. I just love your energy. I love your positivity, your vibe this morning. Thank you for blessing us and gracing us with your presence this morning. You've got a song coming up. What are you going to be singing?
The next song is Kolele, which means forgive yourself. So it's more about me having blamed myself for whatever I've went through in my life. But I've also felt guilty, and I've stayed in a corner and I couldn't come out. And the song is about forgiving myself so that I can be able to be out there and actually be here on the stage today.
You know what, just by you describing this song, I can already tell that it is going to be a powerful performance. Don't miss it a little bit later on with Asa. She's right here. She's not going anywhere right now, though. Let's quickly take a look at the news headlines.
Thank you. It's now 8 o'clock. Let's take a final look at those morning headlines. Gauteng's health department says the province has vaccinated just over 1.3 million children against measles. Last month, the National Institute of Communicable Diseases declared a measles outbreak across the country. The institute says there are 43 new confirmed cases. This brings the number who tested positive for measles to 459, including 86 in Gauteng. Department spokesperson Motalatale Modiba says Ekurhuleni is the most affected area. Child health specialist at the National Department of Health, Dr. Leslie Bamford, says all children should have 2 doses of the measles vaccine. And staying with our local news, tributes are pouring in for Free State Education MEC Tate Mogoe, who died in a car crash on the N1 outside Wynberg in the early hours of yesterday morning. Mogoe and his bodyguard warrant officer Vuyo Mdi were killed when they collided with 3 stray cows. Mogoe became the education MEC in May 2009. During his tenure, the Free State had the highest matric pass rate in the country for 4 consecutive years. Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga has described his death as a huge loss to the nation's education sector. And moving to news abroad, Nigeria's Supreme Court has ruled that old banknotes remain legal tender until the end of the year, bringing a relief to millions affected by a chaotic redesign of the Naira notes. Justices said that not enough notice was given to the public before the old notes were withdrawn. Not enough of the new notes were released, leading to widespread anger and frustration. People were unable to obtain cash to pay for food, and many slept outside banks to be able to draw cash first thing in the morning. Staying with news abroad, China will increase military spending by more than 7% this year, while warning of escalating threats. This was announced at the National People's Congress, a rubber-stamp parliament, which is due to confirm President Xi Jinping's 3rd term. Beijing's military budget is around $225 billion, and it is still dwarfed by that of the United States, which is 4 times larger. But analysts believe China downplays how much it spends on defense. And a rescue team in Turkey has successfully pulled a dog from rubble 22 days after devastating earthquakes leveled buildings throughout southern Turkey and northern Syria, causing the death of some 51,000 people. Video footage showed workers from Haytap, a Turkish animal rescue agency, clearing an opening for the dog, a Siberian husky named Alex. Now, through the rubble under a giant collapsed concrete slab is where Alex was found. They whistled tenderly to lure him out as many people watched with bated breaths. The dog's owner called the animal rescue agency after he had heard Alex's barks coming from the rubble of a 2-story building in Hatay province. Surviving 22 days in the hole without eating or drinking anything is really a miracle. Osman Polat, the Haytap worker who pulled the dog out, told several reporters on the scene. Alex had lost some weight but was generally in good health. That sure is one tough husky. Well, on that note, that's where I leave your morning headlines. Let's take a final look at your sport.
Thank you very much, Zoe. Right, let's take that look at sports for the last time this morning. Starting off with soccer news, Liverpool delivered the complete performance, and 2 goals from Mo Salah saw him become the club's record Premier League goal scorer as Manchester United were overwhelmed 7-0. Salah's second goal was his 129th for the Reds in the league as he broke Robbie Fowler's record. Darwin Núñez and Cody Gakpo also scored twice as Liverpool recorded their biggest win over Man United. Arsenal scored late to claim a 3-2 win over Bournemouth and maintain their 5 lead over Man City, who beat Newcastle 2-0. Chelsea claimed a 1-0 win over Leeds, while Spurs lost by the same score to the Wolves. Staying with soccer news now, Stellenbosch showed their resilience once again after they fought back from a goal down to earn a 1-1 draw with Mamelodi Sundowns. The Brazilians dropping points for the first time in 16 matches. Orlando Pirates thumped Swallows 4-1 thanks to a hat-trick from Monapule Seleng, while Soweto rivals Kaizer Chiefs claimed a 1-0 victory over 10-man Richards Bay with Siyabonga Ngizana's 8th-minute goal, proving it to be the winner. A brace from Zakele Lapasa ensured SuperSport United maintained their grip on second place with a 2-1 triumph over Golden Arrows. And then rugby news, the Stormers extended their winning run at home to 21 matches, but were mightily relieved to have got home 29-23 against the Sharks. The Stormers scored 4 tries and were full value for their 26-6 lead after 55 minutes. The Durban side fought back with a 2-man advantage, but were unable to completely overhaul the deficit. Lions scrum half Sanele Nohamba scored 24 points as his side caused a major upset, beating the Bulls 29-25. Nohamba scored a try, kicked 2 conversions and 5 penalties as his side exploited some poor discipline by the home side. And we are wrapping up with Formula One news. Max Verstappen started the new season as he ended the last with a dominant victory in the Middle East. The 2-time champion led the Bahrain Grand Prix almost from start to finish, initially lapping at a pace beyond his rivals and then controlling the race. Verstappen's 36th victory underlined his status as a favourite for a 3rd consecutive world title. Sergio Perez made it a Red Bull 1-2 ahead of an inspired drive by Aston Martin's Fernando Alonso in 3rd. And that's a wrap of your sport headlines on your Fiaga Breakfast Show for this morning. Lots still to come, but I do know that the traffic is building. Here's Zoe.
Let's start off with traffic in Soweto, Johannesburg. Patreon's buses are blocking the entrance at the Dobsonville depot, affecting all bus services, leading to the suspension of bus services. Please use an alternative mode of transport this morning. Then in Randfontein, Johannesburg, there's been an accident. It's on the N12 eastbound before Elands Interchange. Please drive carefully. If you're in Pietermaritzburg, there's congestion on the N7. In fact, the N3 eastbound between Orthman Road and New England Road interchange, expect delays. In the Western Cape, in Cape Town, there's been an accident on the N1 inbound after Monte Vista. Heavy delays can be expected this morning, but that's a wrap of your traffic. Let's take a final look at your weather. Starting off with some news, widespread extreme weather has caused damage in large parts of the Amatole district in the Eastern Cape. This district stretches along the Sunshine Coast from the Fish River mouth and along the eastern seaboard to just south of Hole in the Wall along the Wild Coast. Spokesperson for the Amatole District Municipality, Sisa Mziwe, said although no injuries or deaths had thus far been reported, some areas experienced serious localized flooding and strong winds. He urged communities to stay vigilant and to avoid crossing any low-lying bridges, streams or rivers, and motorists to exercise caution and avoid driving in flooded areas. Meanwhile, the SA Weather Service has issued a warning for severe thunderstorms in the Overberg and Garden Route district municipalities of the Western Cape, and thunderstorms over Cape Town, the southern central Karoo districts, and the Witzenberg, Drakenstein and Stellenbosch municipalities, after soaking rain also fell yesterday. Well, for our final sunrise view this morning, let's take a look at those beautiful sunrise views that you share. Fabian from Mpumalanga captured a phenomenal blue sky before he jumped into his car for his day. Neil Naidu, enjoying a holiday in the Seychelles, snapped this photo from his hotel room and still managed to share that with us. Then we have Prakesh, who shared a daily view with us and sharing 2 videos. The first one of the truck heading to put out a small fire next to the beach, and the other video watching the beach goers enjoying a morning swim after the fire had been put out. What a very exciting morning, but thank you for those videos. If you have a sunrise view to share with us, please do so on 063 408 8863. But let's get into today's temperatures. If you're in Polokwane, your low for today is 19, your high 30. Mbombela 20, 31. Pretoria 17, 31. Johannesburg 15 with a high of 29. Mahikeng 17, reaching a high of 30. Klerksdorp 16, 31. Kimberley 18 with a high of 30. Bloemfontein, your low is 11, your high 29. Richards Bay 22, reaching a high of 30. If you're in Pietermaritzburg, 18 is your low, 28 your high. Durban 22, reaching a high of 28 with some rain. If you're in Mthatha, rainy conditions, a low of 16, a high of 27. East London 18, 27. Cradock 12, 28. If you're in Gqeberha, your low is 15, your high 22. Rainy conditions for George, 15 with a high of 19. Cape Town, 17, reaching a high of 20. Worcester, 14, 20. Sutherland, 9, 18. And Uppington, sunny conditions, a low of 19 and a high of 32 degrees Celsius. Well, that's where we leave your weather this morning on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Thank you very much, Zoe. Now, coming up after the break, the Ultimate X Skating Champs is here. Boipelo's in studio. You can see things are going to be heating up, man. Our team made us so proud. Boipelo, of course, the women's champion. We're going to touch base with her in just a little bit. Man, I can't.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. You're tuned into your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's a fresh Monday and the start of a brand new week. Now, the Ultimate X 2023 did not disappoint with its return to the V&A's Battery Park for Africa's biggest action sports event, and man, was it jam-packed full of action. Now, the sold-out event, it had it all. Huge tricks, new faces, old school, and a couple of slams to entertain the 2,000-odd audience. Now, in the men's skate competition, Devondre Gallant took the win from the Expresso experienced Kule Ngubane. The Cape Town skater put on a world-class performance against his Durban counterpart to claim victory. And in the element of women's skate contest, Boipelo Devata from Kimberley emerged victorious. And Boipelo joins us this morning in studio to chat about her win. Boipelo, thank you very much. And congratulations. Let's pound it out on that, man. I think that is an incredible win. Congratulations, man. What did it feel like standing on top of that podium and going through this tough competition? And how was your run?
It felt very amazing being up there, and my run, I think I did pretty good. And bearing in mind, this was the first time we had a ladies division, so it was very epic, and being a part of that and taking the first win was amazing for sure.
What is it like being in this space of skateboarding and women's skateboarding and just seeing it evolve and progress? And what are you happy with, and what would you still like to see?
It's been amazing seeing how far we've come as female skateboarders in South Africa. I am still very young, but I've been in the skating scene for quite some time, and seeing the progression over the past few years and how many female skaters have gotten into the sport has been insane.
Yeah, give us a sense of the atmosphere. 2,000 odd, spectators that came through and visited. What was the atmosphere like? What was the competition for you like as well?
The atmosphere was amazing. Everyone was cheering us on. There was a bunch of people there high-fiving us, making sure that we felt comfortable, and that took the pressure off the competition.
Yeah. Where did your journey and love for skateboarding start? Because, you took to it, like they say, a duck to water, but not everyone. If I look at a skateboard, I get seriously nervous because definitely not my forte. Where did it start for you? How did you get into it?
Well, my older brother used to skate, and I was into whatever he was into, and I always used to see them doing it, and I got into it slowly. But at first, obviously, my parents didn't want me to do it because it is a dangerous sport. Yeah. It's very dangerous, and there weren't so many female skaters at the time. And at the time, I was 5, so I was still very young. But that's where my love for it began. And I just got into it. I couldn't stop after that because I could be free, in skateboarding, and I was always energetic as a kid. And it was like I could take my energy out on skateboarding and how I felt, all of that.
I mean, did you ever envisioning yourself standing where you are right now when you were a kid, especially taking part in something like Ultimate X, which is renowned for bringing about a lot of action?
No, I've never imagined this. I never thought it would be possible, because when I got into skateboarding, I just did it because I enjoyed it. But Ultimate X, I've always watched Kule Ngubane skating at Mosey's, all the legends. And for me to be a part of that and to be surrounded by such amazing people was very amazing.
Yeah. Do you have a signature trick that you would normally do? Or how does it work?
I do have, my favorite trick would be a heel flip, which I didn't do in the contest, but another one is nose slides, and I'm always doing nose slides.
Nose slides?
Nose slides.
Nose slides.
Yes,
you see how much I know about the sport, eh? Can you show us a little bit of something? Are you prepared to do that?
I'll do a little ollie for you guys.
A little ollie, all right.
Yeah.
Floor's yours. All right, let's see how this... So easy. And she does it with a smile on her face, just like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that it takes serious practice, but when it comes to skateboarding and looking at where you are, the platform that you are currently operating in, the spotlight is on you. What message would you give to young girls out there? Not necessarily, I think, in skateboarding, but just about going out there and doing what you love.
I'd say you never know what could happen unless you try it. The hard part is trying. Because when you start something new, obviously you are worried about the outcomes, how people might take it, but you just need to start and everything will just follow and just work to the best. Yeah.
I love it. Advice, 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 to young girls out there, from a beautiful young girl as well. What is next for you? Where are we going to see you?
Next for me, I am trying to qualify for the 2024 Paris Olympic Games, and hopefully a lot more competitions and me progressing as a skateboarder and getting more girls into it.
Sure, so it's just skateboarding and practice, and that's pretty much it is, eh?
Yeah.
Boipelo, thank you very much for joining us this morning, and all the best, and congratulations. This is a huge one, I think, not only for the sport, but for women in skateboarding as well. You're doing us proud. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Action-packed here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Ultimate X it is. Stick around, lots more to come.
Well, we're keeping the action going, and when it comes to body weight workouts, it has been shown to be just as effective as other strength training for muscle mass, physical fitness, as well as performance. Now, here to take us through some of these exercises is fitness trainer Paul Jordan, and we're going to do, is this an upper body workout?
This is going to be an upper body workout, specifically focused on the shoulders, your chest area, your tricep area, basically a full upper body movement exercise. With about 4 to 5 different exercises, which the people can do, of course, in their own time, and then just repeat those exercises for about 10 to 20 minutes.
Okay, well, if you can't do the exercises, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to build up to it.
Yes,
That's
correct.
optimism.
All right,
Okay.
so we're gonna start in a lower position. Okay, in a normal push-up position. All right, now from here on forward, we're just gonna do a normal push-up, up, move your arms in, to your fingers, again. Elbows tucked in, up, again.
Oh, okay,
Elbows
so the
tucked
hands
in.
going in.
Yes, correct. A little bit tough, and then you can do one more. This is gonna be mainly focused on the shoulders. You are more than welcome to use your knees. Go up, there we go. And then gonna take yourself back. There we go, and one more. Good. That is gonna be one movement. So you guys can repeat that for about a minute to 90 seconds. That's gonna be your first movement. For your next movement, we're gonna do tricep dips. So you can turn around. Good. So you're gonna be in this position, legs close to each other. There we go. And then from here on forward, you're just gonna dip the triceps, correct.
Go. This is also a great workout to do, I suppose, on a bench or on
Correct.
the corner
It's
of the
obviously
couch.
it's recommended to do it on a bench or chair or table. But if you do not have any of those available, you can just do normal tricep dips. It's going to be like a half rep motion, but if you repeat this for about a minute, you're going to feel it.
You're definitely feeling it.
All right.
You'll definitely
Good.
be feeling it.
Now for the next movement, again in your normal push-up position. But this is a more advanced movement. If you guys can do this, I 100% recommend this. This is gonna be for your triceps, diamond push-ups. You're just gonna go down, touch, and up.
Okay.
So that's gonna be a hard one. You can try it.
I'll try one. Diamond push-up, obviously, it's about how you position your
That
hands.
is correct. So diamond, you're gonna shape your hands in the form of a triangle, diamond, and you're gonna go low. You're gonna feel the pressure. You can hold that for about 30 to 60 seconds, and then up.
So if you had to look at the difference between doing a normal push-up where your hands are shoulder, just beyond your shoulder.
All right, so how does basically
Which
work?
muscle groups are you
So
targeting?
the wider your arms, so let's say shoulder width, right?
Yeah.
This is gonna be more for your chest fibers. You're gonna tuck in your elbows, and from there on forward, you're gonna go nice and low. That is where the range of motion is. That's gonna be for your chest and shoulders. Of course, for your shoulders, like I just taught you, we're gonna be in this position where you can go nice and low. Push from there on forward. The closer you bring your hands to each other, the more your triceps get worked.
Ah, there we go.
So like, yeah, you guys can repeat that exercises for about 3 to 4 times and feel your upper body literally exploding.
Well, listen, the body weight workouts, I don't know, people overestimate it or underestimate it, if I can put it that way.
That is correct.
Now, for someone like myself, I mean, I am generally extremely weak in my upper body. I feel
Yes.
like the legs are strong, but when it comes to the arms, I'm extremely weak. What is the best way to build up, to be
What I
able
will
to do?
suggest, yeah, so obviously these are more advanced movements for the viewers, but to get you going, you can stand in like a normal position like this and just go nice and low, just to get the arms stronger and the shoulders stronger, get it used to your body weight. You can repeat that for about 30 to 60 seconds, and then you can try working your shoulders with a nice front raise. Keep that hold, bring it down, and then your left arm again. You can just repeat that again. One more. There we go.
Definitely, and it's also very good for the core.
That is correct.
To be engaged.
That is correct.
Well, Paul, thank you for joining us today, showing us a fantastic upper body workout. I believe you're not going anywhere. We've got more workouts
That
to
is
do.
correct. So these were basically just your shoulder, your chest, and your tricep. Still more obliques, still more abs to come, still a little bit of back workout. So yeah.
Well, stay tuned. Paul Jordan's not going anywhere. I'm still going to be put through my pace.
All right, let's go.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You are tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast Show on S3. Lovely to be hanging out with you on this fresh Monday morning. And an exciting weekend of Premier League action was rounded out with a clash between Liverpool and Man United at Anfield. I can feel the deep breaths. Arsenal continue to show their title credentials with a late win, while Man City kept the pressure on the Gunners. But here to chat about all the action, Good Hope FM sports anchor Lorenzo Durries. Before we get to him, though, just to make him feel even better than he is feeling at this particular point in time, here's a quick roundup of all those Liverpool goals.
That's a lovely ball, and Gakpo, and still Cody Gakpo, goal!
For the United fans out there. A late win for Arsenal as they stay 5 points clear of City at the top. Could the Gunners seal the first title since 2004?
Yeah.
What do you see? What do you predict in your crystal ball?
Yeah, if you look at 30 minutes left on the game and they 2-0 down.
Talking about City as well, beating Newcastle, do you think that they can catch Arsenal?
Well, look, the thing is,
it's
theirs
look at
to
their
lose.
run up until this point.
Yeah, they've been a bit, you know, I feel that if they allow that to happen, or if Arsenal drops any points, City's not going to hesitate to take it.
That's it. Yeah, no, they're going to jump on that opportunity.
Yeah, they definitely are.
This last one, Chelsea, much needed win against Leeds. We saw that also action-packed, but now many question Graham Potter, giving the money that Chelsea have spent.
The amount of money that they spent, come on. They should be winning games week in, week out.
Wisely.
Yeah, so have they used it wisely? We'll have to wait and see them.
We'll have to. It is exactly that. It's a waiting game. It's not something that changes.
No, definitely not, no.
Mr. Durries, so good to see you again, my friend. All the best. Listen, we've got some soothing music for you.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, just to make you feel a little bit better.
Is this courtesy of Mike Pedro?
You know, we knew you need some extra TLC this morning. Stick around. Our musical performer is up and ready.
Well, you certainly need her soothing voice. Hailing from the Eastern Cape, African Black Asa is looking to wake waves in the mother city with her music and using her art to heal. And here she is with her track. This one is called Sikolele. Take it away.
Thank you.
To start off our week. You have such a beautiful voice and a wonderful energy about you. She's not going anywhere. We've got one more performance, so stay tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Unlock your 100% this Wednesday evening as we meet a certified personal trainer who dreams of taking his skill set and passion to the world of YouTube, Isaac Banda.
Yo, Riley, it doesn't burn, it doesn't work.
Woo! You're working, brother. Yes!
It's his favorite exercise.
He's lying, he's lying.
He confessed to me.
Watch Isaac Banda unlock his 100%. Wednesday, the 8th of March at 7:30 p.m. Only on SABC2.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3, and we are back with fitness trainer Paul Jordan as we continue to go through an upper body workout this morning. And now, while some of you might think, that strength training requires heavy weights to get the big results that you want, the reality is that you can also just use by using the weight of your own body can create enough resistance to build muscle and burn fat. And that's exactly what Paul is showing me this morning, is just using the upper, we basically used our own body weight.
That is correct. All right, so for those who didn't clock in with the previous workout, for this one, I'll be taking you through a proper core and oblique workout that you guys can be trying from home. All right, so first of all, everyone who has ever worked with me in the past who knows about me would know this is like one of my most favorite exercises. All right, so with your hands, you're gonna hold the mat. All right, from there on forward, we're gonna start with alternating leg raises. There we go. So we're gonna keep this for about a good 20 to 30 seconds. Just warm up the lower abdominal section. Good. All right, from there on forward, you can take it to your back.
You can take it to your back?
Yes, so from there on forward, just normal leg raises. Make sure you focus on the half range of motion, so you're gonna bring it halfway up. Just nice, keep it low. Remember to touch the ground with your heels, and then just push up again. You can do that for about 12 to 15 reps. Bring yourself up again, and then go into your alternating leg raises again.
There's no stopping with you, hey? There's no moments for breaks.
No stopping. All right, once you've done that for about 1.5 to 2 minutes, give yourself 10 seconds rest. This is where it gets challenging, all right? So you're gonna bring your legs, let me just turn around a little bit. You're gonna bring your legs up. And from here on forward, you're gonna try and tap your toes. Your toe taps, all right. So you're gonna breathe out all the air in your lungs and try to touch your toes. Good. Do about 6 repetitive reps and then give yourself a break. Repeat again, 10 seconds, repeat again. That is going to target the upper abdominal section.
Okay.
All right, so we've just targeted the upper and lower abdominal section. From here on forward, I think we can turn.
It's also made in the kitchen.
So basically, if you want your abs to pop out, I'll say 70% of that results would be nutrition-wise, 20% would be training, 10% would be sleep. And low stress levels, 100%.
Low stress levels. I think that is the secret. I think everyone forgets to mention the sleep and less stress part, which I think is the downfall of a lot of people.
But what I can tell people is your abs is about 70% nutrition.
70% nutrition.
70%
Well, listen,
nutrition.
hearing that, I mean, I feel like it would be inappropriate for me to ask you to just show some abs, but I mean, I'm just going to be inappropriate and just ask that out. Like, why not? Show
Why
us
not just show the viewers?
results of the abs. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. 70% is made in the kitchen.
70% is made in the kitchen, nutrition. Obviously, the other 20% would be training, 10% sleep, low stress levels.
There we go. Well, Paul Jordan, thank you for joining us this morning. In fact, there's someone else that knows how to get abs, and he's in the kitchen right now.
Well, that's right. Well, like you've said, yes, exercise, but sleep and what you eat, very important. Now, we're going to sort you out after a lovely workout like that. It's time for a lekker recipe. Affordable, fast and easy, heartwarming. It's a chicken noodle stir fry. It's the perfect way to start off your week with crunchy veggies, succulent chicken pieces, and flavored jammed sauce. It's going to be amazing. This quick fix meal can be done in less than 20 minutes. So it's definitely a meal for the whole family that you will enjoy, and you can whip it together after work. It's quick, it's healthy, and Buko is back to show us the ropes. I love the fact that, you know, whenever there's a meal, I love to see color with different veggies and that. And stir fry, which is nice about it, not only healthy, but it's quick to make as well.
Exactly.
All right, so let's kick off. What are we doing?
So we're doing a stir fry, chicken stir fry. So I'll be doing this side, and I would love for you to chop those veggies for me. Those are green peppers and broccoli.
Two of my favorites. And if you're talking about six-pack food for abs, you know, then this is it. This is it.
Yes. So this is your oil. You're gonna first add your oil.
Okay. So we want to use, so a lot of people would go like, can we use olive oil with that? But I think stick to the natural other oils like your canola or sunflower, because it's got a higher smoking point, right? And that's because stir fry, you need that heat. And you want to smoke out the whole kitchen.
And after these are your chilies. And your garlic.
So while that is going there, you're studying at the moment, you're a student.
Yes,
So what
I
are you
am.
currently busy with?
I'm obtaining my tourism diploma at CPUT. I am a third-year student.
Ah, tourism diploma.
Yes.
Lovely. And how's things going till this point?
Things are going fine, exciting. I enjoy tourism a lot because I get to meet new people, different people every day, and I get to learn new things about the industry, and it's quite fun.
Yeah, quite fun. And on the side, you're inspiring us
Yes,
with
I am.
lovely meals that we can make. Okay, well, congratulations. All the best.
Thank you.
For the rest of it. Listen, so you said roughly chopped, eh?
Yes, please.
I'm going in here and I'm roughly chopping.
Yes, and you will cook these veggies for like 2 minutes or 3 or so because you still want that crunch in your stir fry.
That's it. So I see we're using one of my favorite types of broccoli. There we go. Now, we asked some of our crew members to get involved in our Good Morning Post and some of the student meals. And, you know, what did they do? And we have. Courtney, what's up? What did you do?
So my favorite meal was a toasted sandwich, toasted cheese sandwich. And on campus, we used to have 5 Rand hot chips or 10 Rand chip rolls. So that was also something that I used to have on campus.
I love that. Thank you very much, Courtney. Thank you very much. Toasted sami. I mean, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. All right.
Exactly. Can you please add those for me here?
I can.
Please.
There we go. Oh, look at that.
And after you have added that, you're going to be adding the 3 sauces.
Okay, so we have our soy sauce going in. Oh, look at that.
And this is your Tanqueray.
You see now. Now you are taking it to another level, Buko.
And lastly, this is to thicken the stir fry.
Okay, some cornstarch and just water.
Correct.
All right, so while that is just heating up a little bit more, Bianca, what did you do as a student for those meals?
Baked beans was a good one. Boiled eggs, tuna, all of those straight out of the can or the shell. And then just black coffee and dry toast.
I like that. Who's got time for cooking anyway? Just out of the can, that's it. That's what we do as students, eh, Buko?
Yes.
You've got to find those creative ways to make sure that we are well nourished. Okay.
Correct. So this is your pepper. And then lastly, you're going to be adding a bit of salt.
Okay, let me just turn this up a little bit. There we go.
Thank you.
A little bit of salt, okay. And that's pretty much all our ingredients. The chicken, of course, great if you've got leftover chicken from the night before.
Exactly.
Shred it a little bit, and this makes up the protein part.
So these are our 2 last ingredients. This is your chicken.
All right.
And of course, we got our noodles.
So you would essentially just fry this up a little bit, you know, over some high heat, and then add your choice of noodles.
That's all up to you.
That's
and
all
enjoy.
up to you. Do you have a favorite?
Noodles?
Yeah.
I love Durban curry noodles.
Durban curry noodles?
Yes.
All right. What exactly is that?
It's noodles, but they are a bit chilly.
Ah, yes. Okay.
You can get them at ShopRite, Pick n Pay,
Yeah.
on your local stores.
Yeah. And I suppose also when you make a stir fry like this, you want to cook the noodles, use it fresh and nice and hot. I see our noodles, you know, had a bit of a chill time already, you know, so they started getting cold and hugging to each other. Is there any way that you can, if you are having or dealing with colder noodles that's stuck in a little ball like that, I see it is loosening up nice.
It is.
How would you do it? Would you separate it first maybe when you put it in, or what's the best way?
I'll first add a little bit of warm water and then into the microwave, and then that should do the trick.
All right. Now, see, these noodles are now going to absorb all of that beautiful flavors, the heat as well, and it's going to all gel together. This looks definitely like something that I would eat for sure. You know, especially for somebody that's quite active, for students as well that has long days. I mean, you don't have a lot of time to prep, but you still want to make sure that you eat well. If you want to check out the recipe, step-by-step instructions on how to make this, it really is easy. I mean, Buko just unpacked it for us in a couple of minutes. Expressoshow.com. That's where you can go check it out. And also, continue commenting on our Good Morning Post. We'd love to hear from you. How did you get by as a student? What food did you make in your dorm room? What did you have available as well? Let's take a look at what some of you are saying over there. Let me walk a little bit closer here. Noodles, Durban curry with mayonnaise. 2-minute noodles, Durban curry with mayonnaise. Huh? That sounds lekker. That sounds lekker. Rosetta there says, good morning, my Expresso family. Good morning, Rosetta. A sliced polony and bread. I don't think you can get simpler than that, but I think that's a great one as well. What else do we have? Makoka says, good morning. Instead, porridge oats. That's all. Mense laat my lees hier vanoggend. Another morning, another Expresso show. Yeah, good morning, good morning. As long as I had meat and pop in my house, I was cool. Morning, family. Good morning to all of you. Thank you very much for sending through just what you guys did as students. I love it. Simple is best.
It's always best.
Don't need to overcomplicate it. This is in, this is going. How long is this process taking once you get everything in the skillet?
It can take about like 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay. You want to make sure that it's all just heated through nicely.
Yes, all the flavors are in there and nothing is minus and everything's a plus.
I love it. And then you dish it out and it looks beautiful, just like that. Zoe, you want to come and join us here for a second? Come and taste this deliciousness that we've prepared for you, specifically for you in this Monday morning.
I'm loving the colors that I'm
on that
seeing.
side. Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. I love when a dish's got color. It means that there's health in there.
Okay, I'm going to bring this a little closer.
Right, look at her, professional with the chopsticks.
I'm not the best at chopsticks, but let's see. I feel like I need to get a bit of... You use chicken?
Yes,
some chicken, and obviously a bit of...
Look, okay.
Okay, this is not a TV bite.
We don't do TV bites here.
No, we don't. This is a winning dish. I love the flavors coming through. A little bit of a... Not too much spice, actually. Very good.
Yeah, there's some fresh chilies in there, just a little bit.
Fantastic. Oh, I love this. This is a good winning dish.
There we have it. Again, if you would like to get your hands on the recipe, it's got Zoe's stamp of approval this morning, that's for sure. I just think she's going to take that bowl all for herself. ExpressoShow.com. That's where it is. All the steps, the ingredients, whatever you need. And thank you, Chef Booker, for joining us this morning. Lovely to have you in studio and making these beautiful student idea meals. I think it's great. We'll see you guys just now. Stick around. More to come.
This is nothing. This is just who we are.
Alfredo! Ai, o Alfredo.
We date Italian.
So, Florence.
We drive Italian. Living la dolce vita. And now you can see. That's what it is. Gatle gatle. We're Italian.
Perfect.
That's why I was pizza. I'm Italiano. And we always eat Italian. Every day. Vetis and mornings. Bravo to you.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back for the last time to your Feel Good Breakfast Show on S3. It's a Monday morning and we are back with musician African Black Asa, our special performer for today. Now this songstress has a brand new title called I Am Love. Be sure to check that out. We can't wait to hear it. I've heard a little taste of it right now. I Am Love, I think it's a song that's going to reach so many that's looking for that healing and that connection and that spiritual connection. And I know that you're going to do some great things. I've got the song in my head now. Here it is, I Am Love, African Black Asa.
The heart of how you feel, all you need is love and a dish that no one cooks better than you. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.